funk, thoughts deep, boys steeped in the depths that he sunk. Big stress, depressed in the middle of fall. Sky gray, high late in the thick of it all. I wonder, how long can a human survive just staying alive or carrying the rest of the tribe? Waiting for the day to arrive or struggling dies, and I be doing way, way more than getting by. So why? Cop myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, cop myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Realize life is so much more than just living a day. Every day I can sit and reflect and breathe and connect to myself and all that I've been given. See, giving up is not an option. So when I'm looking at gray skies, I'll be adopting a new way to deal with a test. Lord, relieve me of stress. The rain be looking like when blessings drop in. And so I got myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, here we go. Yeah. Let's do this. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. In times of test, let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. In times of test, let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord.
Salutations, salute everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Urban. Appreciate you tuning in to the broadcast today. My mic, like, what the fuck? I mean, my mic is like up high as hell. Hold up. Let me see if I can. Yeah, because we booming. All right, that's better. But anyway, salute everybody. Salute. Welcome. Appreciate y'all tuning into the stream today. I am Urban. Today, I decided to go ahead and do part two of this episode because I realized that this thing is like really long, and so I want to go ahead and get a jump on this and go ahead and do my commentary on this. So today we're gonna do part 12 through 20. That's our goal today, is to get to part 20. Now, if we're feeling good by the time we get to part 20, then we'll go from 20 to 30. All right. So without further ado, I don't want to hold y'all up. Make sure y'all hit the like button, or the thumbs up button as you come into the stream as I give you my perspective about this whole entire situation. Now, just to give y'all a quick update. We learned that this young lady right here, right, she ended up dating a dude. She dated this dude. She only knew this dude for in the big beginning. She barely knew this dude. She met this dude on Facebook and also on a dating app as well too. She said that they hit it off on the first date, and from there they end up moving in together. The reason why they ended up moving in together because the pandemic ended up happening. So through the process of moving in together, they was in the process of trying to find a house together. But unfortunately, things was happening through the process of finding a house together because she was saying that this dude was a pathological liar. All right, so a lot of things that the dude, she said what the dude was saying, he never come through with his promises on it. He ended up falling through every single time. So she was giving examples about the house, that she gave examples about them going out, getting a car. Then within this whole time frame, they only been knowing each other for going on 4 months. All right. So now she's fixing to get ready to give us the backstory of this dude ex-wife, and that's where we left off at. So if y'all ready for this commentary, let's go ahead and get it started. All right.
Okay, I know I look rough, but it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, so this is part 12 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So, this is the backstory on what I was told for the ex wife. This is important. Pay attention. All right, this is 2020. So, this is what I was told in 2020. I was told that he and his ex wife used to be friends. Then they started dating and subsequently got married. They got married in California. He had bought a house with the money that he made from arena football. They had apparently had gotten married on the downward of the arena football career. Had a nice house. He showed me a picture of the house, showed me pictures inside the house.
Salute. Thank y'all for thumbs up.
Remember that. Showed me pictures inside the house. It was a really nice home in San Diego. And basically, what happened was that he came home from work early one day and the hiccup, sorry. Came home early from work.
What is up with her having the hiccups? So every last story that she's sharing with us, she got the hiccups. I don't know. Maybe this acid reflux that she may have. I don't know. But let's continue.
One day, and his wife was sleeping with another man. The man was in the house.
Wait a minute. Hold up. She said his wife was sleeping with another man. Let me run that back.
And the hiccup, sorry. Came home early from work one day, and his wife was sleeping with another man. The man was in the house.
Huh.
He and the man get into it. Her son, who is about 17 years old in 2020, she had two kids, a daughter and a son. The son apparently was on his way home from school when my ex husband found his previous wife in bed with another man. So the story goes that he and the guy fought. He kicked the guy out. He kicked his ex wife out, but told her the kids could stay. The kids are not biologically his, those are his stepkids. She was like, "You must be kidding. Like, I'm not leaving my kids here." The kids are old enough to where they were like, we don't want to go because you fucked up.
Side pass. Salute. Yeah. Acid reflux. I'm just saying.
But we don't want to So apparently, she leaves. The kids stay with him for a few weeks, and uh, then she gets her own place. The kids move out, move in with their mom. He files for divorce in California. He files for divorce in California, and it was an ugly divorce. She was asking for spousal support, all kinds of stuff, and then it turned into, um, you know, I'll help you with the kids, not child support, but just I will give you some money for the kids because apparently he was very close to the kids, and he wanted to keep a relationship with the kids. Their biological fathers, apparently there were two fathers. Their biological fathers were not in the picture. So the divorce starts out contested and ugly, eventually becomes amicable. Eventually, they become cordial with each other.
So they went to the court, right? So I'm assuming, based on what she's saying, that they end up having a mediation instead. Because that's exactly what it sounded like. That they had a mediation section. I remember when I went to my divorce with my wife. That's what we did. Instead of us making it long and drawn out in the court system, we decided to mediate. That way we can skip the judge, skip all that. We could just have our lawyers together and we discuss our negotiables and our non-negotiables. We sign into the contract, which is the contract is known as the divorce decree, right? So whatever our negotiables and non-negotiables was, we put it in a divorce decree, including visitation, including um in the state of Texas don't honor alimony or as other state call it spousal support. The state of Texas don't honor that, but however, the state of Texas do honor child support. So I made it an obligation for me to pay child support because I wanted to help assist my children. All right. So we did all that, sign the paperwork. We did, where we was going to negotiate. We divided the one assets that we gained together while we was married, and we divided that equally towards each other, and that was it. So that's how it kind of sounded like what was going on, but at the same time, to me, it sounded like this dude just quoting a movie. I ain't lying, but let's continue.
So my ex-husband moved. This is all before he ever met me. So I'm telling you the story of what I was told in 2020. So eventually, about 2 years later, is when his job approached him about an opportunity to transfer to Georgia. And so he took it. New beginning, fresh start. He has family in Georgia. He took it. He told me this story pretty much the second or third conversation we had. So it was always from the beginning that she had cheated. He caught her, and he had filed for divorce, but he was still close to the kids. They still had a great relationship. I've heard him. I've heard him on the phone with the kids, just encouraging them, helping the 17-year-old like with homework. The kids really apparently wanted to meet me, and I was fine with that. Um, he would he would send them money, if they needed something because he loved the kids as if they were his own. I'm telling you the story as I was told it in 2020. So let's see, around April or May of 2020, he informs me that his ex-wife has moved to Georgia. Apparently, she's staying with her sister in Gwinnett County. So she has moved to Georgia. The two kids are now in Georgia. And so when he tells me all this, I'm like, so what's that supposed to mean? Now, I will say this. He never made it seem as if she wants him back. He never presented that. It was always, no, we're cool for the kids. We're cool for the kids. But he's never presented that she was trying to get him back. I feel like it's fair to her for me to say that. And again, stay with me, it all comes out. But that was the backstory in regards to the ex wife. That they got married in California, they divorced in California, and then she eventually moved to Georgia, to Gwinnett County, after he had transferred to Georgia for his job. He did tell me that, every now and then he'll get a text message from her. He told me that he, told her when I was pregnant, he felt like she needed to hear that from him instead of hearing it from the kids. And we got into a bit of an argument about that, but honey, in the big scheme of things, that anyway. So we got into an argument about that. I felt like that's none of her business. But that's the overall backstory of her. So remember, because there will be a quiz, but just remember, he met her in California, married her in California, divorced her in California. She moved to Georgia, to Gwinnett County, after he moved to Georgia. Are we clear? Okay.
So, all right. So once again, the ex-wife ended up moving to Georgia. All right. She was originally in California. So my question is that why would the ex-wife wanted to move in the same state where he's currently residing? My second question is this, and this is me being, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. This is me being a straight asshole in this situation. But if him and this ex-wife, right, they never had children together, and those are his ex-wife children, why would he want to continue the relationship with children that is not his own? Because one thing that we do talk about in these spaces, we do also talk about negotiables and non-negotiables. In that situation, that is a non-negotiable because he don't have no type of parental rights over the children legally or anything like that. A matter of fact, during the process of allegedly signing the divorce contract, right, he doesn't have no type of rights whatsoever, none. So that's why she could have put that dude on child support because that's not his blood children. That's why she seek to have alimony or spousal support because that's one only thing that she'll be able to get out of him. But on his end, right, that's being a man, right? On his end, that's him being free from that relationship, free from no type of obligations or anything like that. So a lot of men in that situation, that's like the perfect storm for us to exit and never think about you ever again. So I find that kind of weird that he still wanted to do that. But anyway, once again, appreciate everybody tuning in to the one on the stream right now. And make sure you hit that like button as you coming in. Appreciate everybody who are watching as well in the bushes. Appreciate everybody who going to participate in the chat and watching the replay. So we're learning about the ex-wife, and now we're going into part 13 of this series. All right, so let's get it.
Okay. Part 13 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So I've kind of given you guys all the backstory. Let's just kind of recap real quick. So I told you how we met. Met in March of 2020. Basically, Georgia got shut down. I keep saying shut down. Got locked down. We decided to quarantine together. I know it was crazy. It was crazy. I really liked him. And thought he liked me. So I told you guys how we met.
Now, once again, by her saying that I like him and I thought he liked me, that goes back to confirm what I said in part one. All right. In part one, and I was telling y'all the difference between when what women want when they be in a relationship in marriage versus what men are looking for when they be in a relationship and when they're married. All right. I told y'all that Women look for stability, period. That's what they're looking for. By her saying that, that confirms what I was telling y'all last night, that at the end of the day, she was looking for stability with this dude. That's the reason why so far she's putting up with all these toxic behaviors with this dude. Because she's seen a way to get stability from this dude, a come up, as you would. Gary, salute, welcome.
Things moved at a rapid pace. Met in March, moved in together pretty much beginning of end of March, beginning of April. Found out I was pregnant in May. Lost the baby in June. Had to have surgery in July. Started looking for houses. Started looking at cars. All this stuff happened literally between March and the end of, excuse me, in August is when I got my car.
So, just to give a timeline, we're now in the 6 month of them since, well, we're in the 6 months since they have met each other. All right.
So, um, got a car in August. He paid the down payment for that car, um, which I was shocked by. And no, it was not a BMW or an Audi. It was a Nissan Altima, but I loved that car at the time.
Gary, I have no earthly idea. I don't know, bro. I don't know how long they was married, but we're gonna find out. We're definitely gonna find out.
So he paid the down payment for that car. Told me he would help me with the car payment. The biggest mistake that I made, and I'll explain why I say this. The biggest mistake I made was that I signed myself up for a car note, where I knew I needed his help to pay the car note. I knew better. My mom has always taught me, do not ever put yourself in a position where you are financially dependent on a man.
We're gonna address that in a few seconds. But yeah, to answer your question, Gary, that is absolutely correct. Um, we're in the 6 months. So 6 months ago, right? She met this dude on Facebook dating, and also on another dating app as well too. She met this dude. She instantly hit it off with this dude, and she just decide to allow this dude to move into her house. She decided to go through this whole journey with this dude without knowing who this dude is. And on top of it all, she decided to give her body, give the most greatest tool that she has as a woman to give to a man, which is implant a seed in her. So all of this happening within the 6 month period so far since they met. And you asked her what did she love about him at this time? Stability. She loves stability. So, and it's interesting that she said this. I'm gonna rewind it back just a little bit.
My mom has always taught me, do not ever put yourself in a position where you are financially dependent on a man.
Now I find that very, very interesting that she would say that, right? Now, also, I want to let y'all know this too. During that time frame, she do have a job. She was working in everything. But however, her whole thing is this. She wanted this dude to pay for all her living expense because you want to know why? It's because just like I talk about on this channel, these type of modern day women, right? They want the man to pay for everything while they could just allocate their money to doing whatever the hell they want to do. Well, if they want to go on a shopping spree or wherever the case may be, they want to have total control of their money. Why the man pay all the one expenses? So I find that funny that she would say that her mom had told her not to depend on the man, which in fact that's what she was doing.
And all of that went out the window. And the
Constant
reason
salute.
why I say that was the biggest mistake is because when I have pulled back the layers of this whole monstrosity of life that I lived for 2020 and 2021, it really does boil down to the fact that I truly ended up marrying him more out of fear than anything else. and I'll expound upon that later. But um, I got the car in August, and by this point, I was exhausted
Constance, I ain't thinking about you. That's why I'm annoying you right now.
of looking at cars. I was mad that I didn't get a BMW X5 dark blue with cognac interior. Um, and I was tired of looking at houses, getting my hopes up, looking at a house and picturing myself in the master bedroom, the kitchen, the island, all that stuff. I'm a visual person, and I was tired of getting my hopes up. Um, so now we're going to segue into fall, going into the holidays.
Take your time, girl.
Here's what happened. In October, we looked at another house. This house was in Marietta. Absolutely gorgeous. Um, it was gorgeous. I want to say that the house was about $700,000. I really liked the house. I could see myself living there. I could see myself cooking there. Um, and
Just want to let y'all know that she said this about every house that they visit, by the way. I I love the house. I could see myself getting married there. I could see myself having children there. Just let y'all know.
so subsequently, my ex-husband put in an all-cash offer on that house. I watched him put an all-cash offer in on the house. Our real estate agent, Scott, called us about 24 hours later, and he said, the sellers love your offer. The offer was an all cash, full asking price offer. Seven.
Okay, so we're at another house now where they had a cash offer. So let's see how much the cash offer is this time.
Love your offer. The offer was an all cash, full asking price offer. 700,000. Let that sink in for a moment. He said the sellers love the offer. They are asking that you show proof of funds so that they can accept the offer. My ex-husband said, I will show proof of funds when they accept the offer. The seller said, great, we'll accept the offer when you show proof of funds. So basically, we got into a standoff. And if you're a real estate agent or you work in real estate, I would love to know your thoughts on this. I had asked people in my personal life, like, have you ever heard of this before? And I've had plenty of people who said I side with the ex-husband. I would not show my bank statements until they accepted the offer. And then I had other people who were like, I wouldn't accept an all cash offer unless I verify that the person can pay. So I'm just curious what your thoughts are. Okay.
All right, so I'm not a one. I'm not a real estate agent or anything like that. But I understand about business. Okay, so in part one, I was telling y'all that it was a point in time where I went out and purchased a vehicle. Matter of fact, I went out and purchased a Mercedes Benz. All right, and I had cash for it. Okay, one of the things that the dealership wanted me to do is to prove to them that I have that cash. And how the way I proved it to them is for me to show my current bank statement. Now, the thing about that is that um, some people believe that if you show your bank statement, that means that they could try to get your information and they could take your bank information and do some fraudulent things about that. But that is not necessarily true. All the dealership wanted to do is to see that I actually had that current amount available in my account. You know what I'm saying? For the offer. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Then also, business wise, that is called a good faith. Okay. That's basically what you're doing. You're doing good faith, meaning that, hey, on good faith principle, I'm letting you know that I have this amount. And on good faith, I'm showing you that I have this amount so we could go ahead and proceed with the business transaction. Likewise, with them looking for the house. That's all they're saying, that they wanted him to have good faith on his word instead of him just saying it. Okay, so I can want to understand why they was doing that. All right.
So our real estate agent called us and was like, guys, the sellers are giving you 2 days to show proof of funds. I had the letter that he showed me from Chase. I sent that to Scott, but that was for a mortgage. The offer was for all cash. So he needed to show proof of funds that he had the cash to pay $700,000. He didn't show it. He refused to budge on showing them proof of funds until they accepted the offer, because he was afraid that they were going to create a bidding war. So what ended up happening was Scott called us and said, I apologize because I didn't do my due diligence as a realtor. He said, before I ever started showing you guys a house, I should have collected your pre-approval letter and proof of funds. He said, so at this point, my broker has informed me that I cannot show you guys another house until you show at least us, meaning the real estate firm, until you show us proof of funds. And so I'm just like, well, I'm telling my ex-husband, just show them the fucking proof of funds. Like, what's the problem? And so it was a lot of, I find that this is really unprofessional, because it's not our fault that you didn't do your job correctly. It got a little ugly and it got uncomfortable, because I'm like, I don't understand why you don't show them proof of funds when you clearly just signed a document stating that you're putting an offer in at full asking price. This was the same thing that the realtor was saying. He was like, but you just signed an offer, so what's the problem? Like, you want them to accept the offer and then you'll show everyone the proof of funds? And my ex-husband, without missing a beat, said yes. So Scott did his best to work with the seller and say, look, accept the offer. He'll open the books. He'll show you the proof of funds. These sellers were like, no, that's not. And it wasn't so much the sellers, it was the seller's agent. Big respect to the seller's agent. But the seller's agent was like, no, that's not how we're doing business. He needs to show those proof of funds before I advise my clients to accept his offer, period. If he's not willing to do it, we'll go on to the next offer, because they did have another offer on the table for it was less than asking price, but they were willing to accept that offer over the all cash offer, because
Yeah, y'all remember when I was telling y'all that in part one, about you have leverage, where whenever you do a cash offer, you have leverage over that. But thing about it is that you have to prove that in good faith. That's exactly what I was telling y'all. Well, once again, when I went and purchased my vehicle, I knew that I had leverage. Since I had the leverage and I proved to them that I had this certain amount, you know what I'm saying, in my account, I was able to leverage it and be able to negotiate down. And that's where the other offer came at, right? Where these people, they show in good faith that they have the money needed to do what they need to do. So they was able to negotiate down on the offer. But this dude here, mhm. And here's another thing that I want to show with y'all this too. Now, once again, I'm giving y'all the example of me when I went to purchase a vehicle, right? I had showed them the allocated funds of one account, but they didn't know that I had multiple bank accounts. Okay, I have more than one bank account. One account I showed them just to show them that, okay, well, I have the funds in here. But in another account, I have way more money than that in that other account. So once again, I was still able to negotiate with them to bring the offer down to where I could get the car for the lesser than the asking price. All right. So maybe that's something that he should have did, but If he didn't have the money to begin with, then he wouldn't be thinking like that. But let's continue.
those people had basically shown proof. So subsequently, the house fell through. We passed the 2 day deadline. They went with the other offer. Also, at this point, our real estate agent, Scott, and I do not blame him for this, pretty much cut all ties because what he, I believe, felt like was I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. And this is not how I do business. So until you guys are ready to show the proof of funds needed to buy a house, you need to get yourself another agent because we were already about 20 to 25 houses deep by this point. We had already put in 2 other offers, they fell through. And now here we are with this house. And once again, it fell through.
All right, so that's that video. And now, Gary, to answer your question about why wasn't he reported to the IRS because of this? The reason why is because in order for the IRS to become involved in this situation, a contract had to be signed. All right, they had to sign a contract. That's the reason why this dude, in a way, was trying to push for the one contract to be signed without him, having the allocated funds. But if he were to sign that contract, and if he were to breach that contract, then possibly the IRS could be involved in this situation. But unfortunately, it's not. So yeah. So ain't nothing they do about it. They can't even call the police. They can't do nothing about it because it's just word of mouth at this point.
Okay, so good news and bad news. Number one, this is part 14 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Bad news, this is going to be the last post for the night. And the reason why, good news, tomorrow's my birthday. So I'm just going to make this video, post it, and then I will pick back up probably Friday because honestly, I truly.
Oh no, he didn't sign the contract for all cash. They wanted him to prove that he had that money, and so he wouldn't budge. He wouldn't show them that he had that money in the account. So, yeah.
really want to enjoy my birthday tomorrow. I just want to enjoy my birthday. All right, so y'all don't be upset. Just if anything, watch parts 1 through 14, then we'll be ready for part 15. So the house fell through in October 2020. And what I told him was, I said, I don't want to look at another house. I don't want to talk about cars. I want to get through the holidays because it was going to be a holiday season where I could not celebrate with my family because of COVID. So I said, I just want to get through the holidays. I want to get through the end of the year.
Oh, you're good, Gary, because we all confused about this story, but let's go.
And we'll revisit stuff in January. I was very calm when I said it. No argument, nothing like that. And he said he understood. A lot of what fueled me staying in this situation really was the fact that number one, I didn't want to be alone. Number two, I didn't want to look stupid by having the relationship end so quickly for everyone.
Now she's telling y'all the truth about her true intentions of staying with this dude, all right? So I'm gonna want to rewind it back just a little bit. And once again, this is gonna solidify what I said. And just to let y'all know, I have not seen none of this video. That is me giving my perspective about these situations that happen all the time with people and the conversations I have with people like this all the time. All right. So
To be alone. Number two, a lot of what fueled me staying in this situation really was the fact that number one, I didn't want to be alone. Number two, I didn't want to look stupid by having the relationship end so quickly for everyone to be like, we told you something was up.
Number two is dealing with her ego. But let's go.
Um, and number three, I was ready to get married. And that, what ready to get married, fueled a lot of stuff.
Remember what I was telling y'all about that earlier about women and the reason why they want to be married? They want to be married because of stability. That's why I keep telling y'all over and over again. Shoot, Urban is undefeated with it for real, y'all. Man, I'm undefeated. I'm telling y'all, I know how to analyze stuff for real. But let's go.
Um, and again, I was still making my audio diaries. So listening back to it, I knew something was wrong. I admit that. I knew something was wrong. But what I thought it was, truthfully, was like, why does it seem like there's always something? Like, why can't we just go ahead and get the house? Why is it always something? Why can't I just get the BMW? It still didn't dawn on me how deep this something went. And for the people who keep asking, I'm going in order of events. So, yes, there will be a video where I explain how everything came out and what came out, what was true, what was not true. It's coming. I'm just getting all of this out in order. So, I told him I didn't want to look at a house no more. I don't want to talk about houses. Do not mention the word Zillow. Do not mention the word realtor. Nothing. Let me just get through the holidays. And for myself, the question was, what do you want to do? You want to stay with him? Or do you want to cut your losses? And the part that kept me constantly second guessing myself was, what if he's not lying? What if he's not lying? Literally, the conversation I had with myself was, there's no way he is lying about having money. You saw the paper from Chase. They don't just approve $750,000 for a mortgage for anybody. I've seen his checking account. You see how much money's in his available checking. Like I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's lying about that. But what is it? Is it that he doesn't trust me? Like, I second guess myself so much. Is it that he doesn't trust me? Is it that maybe he doesn't really want to get married? Like, what is it? Because I know what I saw. I know what I heard. I know that he's having conversations about move the money from this account to that account. I know he's paying my car note and all these bills. Like, clearly this man is making money. I know that I saw the letter from HR that states his new salary is 200 and something thousand. And I remember thinking, like, God, what what am I missing?
I have a theory about all that, but I'm gonna see when she want to bring out this home. I'm gonna see if she gonna solidify my theory on that. All right, I'll share with y'all in a little bit about all that. All right, from a business point of view. But let's continue.
I'm missing something. But what is it? Because I know what I've seen. I know what I have touched. I have physically touched these papers. Like, I know how to read. So, what is it that I am missing? He's close to his family. He talks to them all the time. He's just a regular guy that just likes to watch NFL football. He leaves.
Yeah, you're right about that, Gary, because in part one she was talking about that. She said that even right now she's saying that he got approved for a loan for $750,000. But I also want to mention that too. In part one was that if you have the money for that, then why are you getting a loan out for that? Okay, but another thing is this: is that it's like the same concept with a pre-approval, right? Even though you get a pre-approval for that amount, that doesn't mean that they literally gave the bank literally gave you that money. You're holding on to that money. Okay, at least that's to my understanding. I believe that. Well, I believe that in that situation, since it's a lot of money, I believe that in order for him to use that funds, right, the bank is holding it, and he had to go and report that fund to the bank. Then the bank would go and release the funds directly to the realtor or the builder or whoever the case may be. That's to my understanding. All right, or I could be wrong, but I know that when I went and closed on the house, that's what the bank did. The bank had approved us for a certain amount, right? But that certain amount didn't go into our actual account. It was on hold, or you could call it on escrow, right? It was in escrow with the bank. And so when it came time for us to close, and the one builder or whoever it was wanted the money, they got it directly to the bank. Well, got it directly from the bank, not from us. Okay.
Me alone when I want to watch
Scorpio, salute.
Georgia football. Um, he's paying the bills, groceries. I haven't had to worry financially since I've met him. And as a woman who had lived on her own, paying her own bills, my God, that is the most intoxicating feeling when you meet a guy who just takes your stress and your worry away financially. But the downside is he took away the stress and the worry financially away and instead brought a mental fuck job I've never in my life had experienced. And I could not put my finger on it. I couldn't really talk to anybody about it because I'm a big believer in what happens at home stays at home. So I didn't talk to my girlfriends about it. I didn't talk to my family about it. But I just remember being like,
And I agree with her on that. Because there's like I was telling y'all last night too, that I don't believe in having friends and family dealing with your relationships, because they tend to give you their personal anecdotal experiences with that. You know what I'm saying? But however, at the same time, I do believe in getting a third party, like a professional person, like a therapist, or somebody like that, where you can have these type of conversations, and they're not gonna give you their personal anecdotal experience. They're gonna tell you professionally what they see due to your situation, and they will give you different techniques to how to deal with that. All right.
what am I missing? What am I missing? Um, so we did not talk about houses. We did not look at cars. We didn't do any of that for November, December. And he came to me like around Thanksgiving, and what I thought
Yeah, Gary, you're correct on that. I agree.
was a very open, loving conversation. And in that conversation, he was like, okay, I know I have fucked up. I know that things are not feeling too strong right now. He was like, I want us to get married. I want a home. Um, I will show you whatever you need to see to put you at ease. Um, he was very like contrite. He was very just like what do I need to do to put your mind at ease so that you know I'm in this and that I want this and that I love you and I want you to be my wife. Um, so I was like, show me your accounts. He showed me his checking. He showed me one of his savings. He showed me a Chase savings. Um, he did not show me the offshore, and he did not show me the U.S. Bank. So he showed me those two accounts, checking and Chase savings. So I knew that there was money. What I saw in those accounts, there was money. I told him, I was like,
So, I'm curious to want to know how much money was in these accounts. You might as well spill the beans. You made it this far.
If we're going to buy a house, I want it to be through the mortgage on Chase. I don't want to deal with this proof of funds shit no more. I said I do not want to look at another house until the beginning of the new year. He said okay. That is when we then had a conversation. So I guess I lied because we are going to have a part 15 or 16 tonight. But that is when we then had the discussion about marriage. And that is where religion came into play.
Hey, Gary. Once again, I have a theory about this too. I'm gonna discuss it to y'all in a little bit. Probably after this part 14. I'm gonna give you my theory on that. All right.
Yeah, I'll give y'all the other part tonight. Stand by.
All right, so before we get to part 15, y'all, appreciate everybody on tuning in right now. Appreciate everybody who watching in the bushes. Appreciate everybody who are going to catch the replay of this stream as well too. And thank y'all for the thumbs up as well too. Now, here's my theory about what's going on, what he's doing. All right, my theory is this. There's a thing in business of what you can do. All right, what I mean, there's a thing in business where you could become a entrepreneur. Okay, how the way you could become an entrepreneur is by you creating what is known as an LLC. When you create a LLC is very easy to do an LLC. In fact, depending on what state you're in, most LLCs wouldn't cost literally nothing to do. All you have to do is get your one business name, register, and you're good to go. So I believe in theory this what he did. He created a LLC, right? And when he created a LLC, he had obtained what is known as a EIN. All right. EIN is basically a social security number, but it's for your business. So when you're in business, you can have two different social security numbers. You can have your personal one, and you can also have your business one as well. But when you're in business, you're going to use your EIN. Okay. So when you use the EIN, you pay for the fee to have it and all this stuff there, right? That's like your credit goes to literally zero. It's like you have a brand new credit line. So I'm thinking that in theory, he had created that business, created an LLC, and did all that. Or as Gary said, you can also create a C corp or S corp, however way you want to do it. All right. I believe that he had did that right. He had got that, and he created a business line of credit through Chase. Okay, through his LLC. That's what I'm believing what he did. But in reality, on the other hand, his real accounts, which he's not showing her, that this dude probably have bad credit and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's my theory on that. And I got another crazy theory about that too, but I'll share with y'all in a little bit. But let's continue. Let's continue, y'all.
The fuck did I marry? This is the interlude, basically. Um, I'm not recapping on this video. I'm just kind of answering some stuff that has been written to me. Someone was like, why are you airing your business out on social media? It's a valid question. For me personally, I feel like this was traumatic to experience, to live through. And I'll expound on that on another video, the aftermath of the toll that this took. Honestly, I know some people are going to be like, that sounds crazy. It is kind of cathartic to to get this out because I cannot tell you how much of this has been internalized since 2020. Also, I don't want to seem like a cautionary tale to other women.
Yeah, what you're saying, Gary, that's gonna be part of the theory that I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna give y'all part two of that particular theory. But well, since she's talking about this, let me go ahead and address this as well too. Since she's discussing this, she is addressing the question why she's putting her business out on social media. The reason why she's doing this, even though I don't agree with it, is because she's using this platform as a part of her therapy. Okay, that's why she's doing it. Now, the downside of doing this is that you're going to get people like myself or other content creators. We're going to come back. We're going to dissect in this video. We're going to critique the hell out of it. We're going to give our opinion about it. You know what I'm saying? That's one part of it. Another part of it, which I totally disagree, is this. You will get some toxic, insane people to critique this video, but they would take it one step further. Instead of them just leaving it as what it is as content, right? These old crazy ass people will sit up here and literally try to go into this woman's life. They'll try to more likely dox this woman, dox her family, try to figure out who this dude is, and all kind of stupid stuff. All for content. To me, I don't agree with that. That's goofy and that's stupid. That remind me when I was covering the Ronda Osman situation, right? Where when I was covering the information, I was covering the information in real time based on what was being presented and posted, right? But we had other people who set up here going to the stream. They set up here creating police reports, doing all kind of crazy stuff that was unnecessary. And to be quite honest, it really wasn't their business to do. But you be having crazy people out there that do extreme crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I don't agree with that. I believe that if you're gonna do content, let it stay for what it is. Be content. Everything else, it just not your business. You don't have to be an advocate. You don't have to do all this extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just to make yourself feel good or stroke your ego.
Or to men for that matter. But to my sisters, to my ladies, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. If something does not sit right with you, investigate it. I cannot stress that enough. If just one woman watches these videos and she's like, you know what, something don't sit right with me, let me look into this, then it was worth it. Yes, it is a Lifetime movie. Yes, it is Netflix. Yes, it is crazy. Yes, it is hilarious also. And I understand all of those reactions. As someone who lived it, it was traumatic. But I feel like, God, it feels good to finally admit what the fuck I went through. And again, by the time this is uploaded, I'm only to January of 2021, right after getting married. So when I think back on it, there's things that I'm very, very grateful for. There are things that I'm just like, why? Why did you not pay attention? Why did you not question? And the sad part is, I can't even begin to tell you. I don't remember the woman I was before I met that man. I don't remember. Because going through something like that, it changes you. And I've seen some women in the comments who were like, I was married to a habitual liar. I was married to a pathological liar. My baby daddy's a pathological liar. And my heart goes out to them because until you have dealt with someone so depraved, you really don't quite know how bad it can get. So I'm fully aware that this was a risk, putting this out on social media, telling my story, my truth, and really kind of being like, look, this is what I went through. I made
See, the thing about this is that first of all, I sympathize with her in this situation, and I really do. But at the same time, I do not like it when women do this for real. Were they the one who consciously make the choice and decision to be in these type of toxic relationship and try to play the victim role as though it's everything that happened to them was overall the dude fault and they didn't have nothing to do with this whatsoever. Like they was just totally oblivious to the situation. Just like I tell y'all, whenever I talk to people about these situations, dealing in toxic relationship and behavior, I let them know that, hey, even though this situation happened to you, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a victim, and you should not have a victim mentality. What you should do is that you should learn from the mistake that you made so you won't do it in the future. When you put yourself in the victim mentality, you set yourself up for vulnerability. When you set yourself up for vulnerability, guess what you're doing? More than likely, you're going to end up making that mistake again and again and again because you're not learning from your personal lesson behind this. And on top of that, you're not holding your own self accountable for the decisions that you made. And this is what she's doing right now. She's up here displaying to us that she's the victim. She's the victim of the situation. She got with a pathological liar, and she trying to convey to the audience or trying to connect with the audience with women who also dealt with similar situations like this, that they also victims, but in reality, that's far from the truth. Because at the end of the day, they have made a choice to be in it. Just at the same time, they can make the choice to get out of it. And that's the one thing I don't agree with. You need to hold yourself accountable for being in this situation. Thank God that this situation wasn't, didn't become violent. You know what I'm saying? It was just mentally and spiritually toxic. But let's go.
dumb decisions. I overlooked things I should not have overlooked. I argued away things I should not have argued away. I can pinpoint exactly the moment I should have left. I still feel like God is sitting on the throne and he's like, I never planned for your monkey ass to marry him. I never even planned for you to go out and date with him. That's why I blew your tire. But you hard headed and you went anyway. And then I tried to go ahead and show you signs. You ignored them. Like, I feel like God did everything to help me as his child be like, this is not who I created to be your.
Facts. Y'all remember when I was on pointing that out last night? That God, even the universe itself, was doing everything possible to try to prevent this woman from doing this. But yet, instead of her listening right, she allowed her ego, her pride and ego, to take over, and now she way deep in the situation.
Your helpmate. And I was like, God, you taking too long. I want to get married. You taking too long. I want to have a family. You taking too long. And these are the consequences that I am paying for basically telling God, you took too long. And I feel like God's grace is sufficient. It is. But at the same time, and I'm not perfect. I mean, not perfect at all. None of us are. But I do feel like when I sit back and I replay the events that happened, I truly cannot believe that was my story. Because all I wanted was to meet a guy, for him to be my best friend, for us to get married, have a family. I wanted someone I could make fun of his big old forehead and he make fun of my nappy head and all my wigs, and yet he was my ride or die. I wanted someone that I could be like, man, help me with these kids, and he helped me with the kids. We had a nice home. We were comfortable. That is what I wanted. And I've said this before, and I say it again. I truly thought, I truly hoped it was my turn. You see the women who are, so happy and, they're in these loving marriages and life just looks good. I really, really wanted it to be my turn. And so I excused away a lot of stuff that I hope the next woman who sees this does not excuse, because I don't wish this on anybody. I don't wish this on anyone to feel the way I felt the moment I discovered the whole truth. So I just wanted to say that, because I think it's important to try to answer the why is she posting this? Honestly, I was tired of holding it in. I was tired of holding it in. And I hope it helps somebody. Okay, let's all take a deep breath. Let's all get some sleep. If you don't have anything to do and you just want to wish me a happy birthday, wish me a happy birthday tomorrow, February 15th. Shout out to Team Aquarius. Good night, y'all.
Oh Lord, did she's an Aquarius too? She know good and well, being an Aquarius, that she should have had been in that situation. What's wrong with her? But anyway, y'all. Jamel, I see you in the chat. Salute, welcome. Appreciate you on tuning in. And yes, I decided to do a what we call it. Oh, I decided to call it Audible. All right, because I was going to stream this later on tonight, but I decided to do an Audible and do it right now. All right, so where we at? But appreciate you on tuning in. Appreciate you watching while you at work. Make sure while you're at work, and everyone else who are watching right now at work, make sure you also have a good productive day. I'm glad that I'm adding value to your day where you can listen to all this drama while you can get through your work day. All right. So appreciate that. Appreciate that a whole lot. Now, so we're getting ready to enter into part 17 of this particular video. Before we get to part 17, let me go and backpedal and give y'all more of my theory about what I believe what this dude is doing. All right. First part of it, I was gonna reveal it to y'all that I believe that this dude had created a LLC. He had created a LLC. Where you create an LLC, once when you create that LLC, you end up, or it could be just like what Gary pointed out, it could be an S corp, C corp, anything like that. When you create that, right, you end up obtaining what is known as an EIN number. An EIN number is basically a social security number, but it's for your business. I believe that once when he created that business, right, I believe that he had went and applied for various loans for at the bank, because at that moment your credit is going to be automatically looking good for banks to get a business line of credit. All right, so that's why I believe that that's what that dude was doing. Okay, now also she was mentioning that whenever does doing like some type of business transaction, he was talking to his VIP. He was a VIP, but he was talking to other people for his business. I believe that part was a lie too. There was a fabrication, because overall he is the CEO, he is the VIP, and all stuff of the business. Now, she also mentioned about an offshore account, and this is where I want to address Gary on this. Where I was saying I was agreeing with him on that. What I believe is this: I believe that In order for him to have an offshore account, he had to invest into something. What he had to invest into is this: he had to invest into obtaining cryptocurrency. Now, if those of y'all who are familiar with cryptocurrency and how the way the cryptocurrency market work is this: is that you will digitally monetize your fund or assets into what is known as a um they call it a bank or something like that. Well, what's the name of it? It's in the back of my head. But it ended up being converted into that, right? And so when it get converted into that, you can take that fund and you can take that particular fund and put it into an offshore account. Most of the time when people do this, right, most of the time when they put it into a type of offshore account, normally they put it into an offshore account in Africa. All right. And I'm talking about us, black people. Normally when they do stuff like that, they put it into an offshore account in Africa. Then from there, they can convert that into whatever type of funds that they need over there in Africa. So that's why I believe that's what that dude was doing. He took that business line of credit. He ended up getting into cryptocurrency and converted that cryptocurrency into an offshore account. All right. But however, he can't show her that offshore accounts because she don't understand how cryptocurrency works. Okay. So even if he showed it to her, she wouldn't understand it because it's not going to look like normal numbers how the way we see it. Okay. So that's so far my theory. I could be wrong, but so far that's my theory that I believe that what's that dude doing. And from there, you could very well participate in fraudulent activity because a lot of people in Africa and stuff do the same as that thing where they have an account, they have their account converted to cryptocurrency, right? And um they use that fund to try to allocate it back to America and doing our weird stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that's my theory. But let's continue.
Part 17, who the fuck did I marry? So, for context and just to clarify some stuff, going forward, I'm going to now call my ex husband, I'm going to use the name that I call him in real life. So that way it clears up the whole fiance, boyfriend, husband, ex husband thing. So, his name is Legion. Anyone that knows me will tell you that is what I call him. So, Legion and I, when I left off at part 16, or excuse me, part 15, Legion and I got married January 5th of 2021. For the first 2 weeks, things were fine. We got into like a routine basically. I would go to work, he would go to work. He was still leaving the house at around 6:15 every morning. He was still on the phone with his brother, the one that lived in Philly, every morning. They would just, that was their time to talk. From what I was told, the brother got off work. I guess he must have worked the third shift. And so he was getting off work as Legion was getting ready to go to work. So that was the perfect time for them to talk. He would talk to his brother in Baltimore and the brother in Augusta. Pretty much, just a quick phone call here and there, if not every day, every other day. So everything was pretty much the same. I would talk to my mom almost every day. I would talk to my aunt almost every day. So it was nothing to kind of that's weird. That's what the morning routine was. He would talk. So I worked at Georgia State Patrol. And said this in a previous video, but again, there were things I said in previous videos that I remember saying, hey, remember that because it's going to come back later. So I worked at Georgia State Patrol. I had been working there for almost 8 years, 7 or 8 years by the time Legion got into the picture. He was fine with the fact that I worked within law enforcement. I'm not a trooper. I'm not a sworn officer. I'm a civilian. However, again, his dad was a retired police officer. So he was perfectly fine in the beginning with the fact that I worked for Georgia State Patrol. He had been to my office before. He had met some of my co-workers. Obviously, even with COVID, because I still had to go into the office 2 or 3 days a week, he had been up there. So the friend who took me to the hospital when I had my miscarriage has met him. He and I have been to her home with her and her significant other before. So again, even in the world of COVID, when there were little times where you could get together with people, he has met people in my life. He has met my friend, or that particular friend, and he has met some of my coworkers. So when we got married, the first 2 weeks, like I said, was fine. And then it's as if something snapped. Something just changed. What was totally acceptable before suddenly look.
Okay, I got the name. I was researching it real quick while she was talking. I got the name. It's called it's called a blockchain. That's what I meant to say. It get transferred into what is known as a blockchain, and where you do the cryptocurrency, normally they do it peer to peer. All right, so that's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say. But let's continue. Oh, hold up. My bad. I wasn't even looking at the chat. Hey, Ronnie 22, salute. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Salute. Appreciate you on pulling up. Yeah, Scorpio, I know about him. I know about Ronnie 22. But salute, welcome.
Comments were made. Why are you wearing that to work? You get off at 3:30, so you'll be home by 5, right? Things that had never happened before. He had never questioned what time I'm gonna be home. Um, Really, he didn't need to question it because when I'm off work, I leave. So it was never a situation of, oh, I'm gonna just sit around at work and just run my mouth because I have nothing to do. Um, and then it turned into, he would call me every day from work, and I'm going to demonstrate how those phone calls went. But he would call me every day from work, and if he even so much as heard a male voice in the background, he would have little comments to me. Who was that? Are they in your office? You know, man, I never know who's around you because it seemed like every time I call you, I have the hiccup, sorry. It seems like every time I call.
Every video, she got the hiccups, y'all. I swear she got acid reflux. I ain't lying. And I'm not trying to be funny, but she literally got acid reflux. I ain't lying. Every hiccup.
You, um, there's some man around. And I'm just like, at first I kind of shrugged it off. I laughed it off because it really truly was absurd to me. Um, but then it became a bit more frequent. And so I really just didn't feed into it because I'm like, I don't know if this is some insecurity. I don't know if this is jealousy because nothing has ever been done to make you feel any sort of insecure type of way. I've never entertained another guy, never flirted with another guy. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. So it is also important to note we got married January 5th. Things started changing around 2 weeks later. And the reason why I know it's 2 weeks is because I had recorded an audio diary on January 21st, is the date of the audio diary. And I talk about how maybe I had unrealistic expectations because it seemed as if things were changing with he and I. So 2 weeks pass. He starts making little comments. End of January comes, he informs me that he wants to start looking for a house again. I had no real desire to go through that process. So, what he decides is that he's going to look for a house for us using his friend, the realtor, the one I did not meet. So, he tells me that he and his friend have been talking and he's going to start looking at houses. And what he's going to do is basically, if he feels like it's a house I would like, then he wants to show it to me because he feels like, I know that your attitude really isn't, you're in the mood to look for a house. So
Jamila, I am on number 17 right now. We're on part 17. We on part 17. And also, since I stopped it real quick, I do want to address a comment that Gary said, and I think it's very important. Gary said this. He said, "Love will come to you. You don't have to look for it." I 100% agree on Gary's comment. The reason why is because I am a firm example of that. I have witnessed that. Now, once again, I be kind of transparent about my relationship. Um, when I was out in the dating market, I was out trying to look for a wife, right? But I didn't find her when I was out there in the dating market. All I found was just women that I could just have a moment with, and that was it. And I ain't gonna lie, that's what I did. Have moments with them where we had a moment, went out, had sex, and it was just what it was. But I didn't find an actual wife. But the moment when I stopped looking, right? The moment when I stopped looking, that's the moment when I literally found my wife. My wife was right there the whole entire time. Now, just like I told y'all before, when I met my wife, we was working together. We both started a career together, a job together. We both was in training together. We both was cool with each other. And for us being cool with each other, we became friends. Then from friends, we became best friends. You know what I'm saying? Then next thing you know, I was really digging her. She was really digging me. I took her out on a date, and it went from there. So that goes like those of y'all who are follow the Bible, right? Where it says he will find us a wife finds a good thing, right? Some people interpret it as though the man always have to go and literally look for the woman. But it be some divine cases where you necessarily don't have to look for the woman. The woman will already be there. But the final part is with that man, because I believe that in order for the man to find that wife, the man have to first find himself. Same thing with me in my situation. I believe that in order for me to find my wife, which is Mrs. Urban, I had to find myself first. After when I had truly found myself and truly found my purpose, that's where my eyes opened for the very first time and seeing Mrs. Urban. Kid y'all not. And I believe that that's how the way it should be. So yeah, I agree with Gary on that 100%.
I'm gonna start looking, and then if I think it's a great house, then you know you can come see it. Um, and I remember thinking that's not gonna work. You're not gonna choose a house without me.
Heck yeah, smash and pass. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just being real, child. That's what I did. Smash and pass. But the thing about it, Jamila, I wasn't like other dudes. You know, some dudes they try to manipulate women to get what they want, but they don't want to display their true intentions. But me, I let them know right off the bat my true intentions are like, hey, I'm not trying to get with you. All I'm trying to do is have a moment with you, and that's it. If you cool with that, should we go out and have some drinks and we do what we do? And I had learned this by being a man. I had learned this by you being upfront with some of these modern day women. They'll literally will go for it, like, okay, because you being upfront and real with them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of lying.
He was like, "No, I'm not gonna choose the house, but I just think that me and old boy have been talking, and so he has some houses that he is representing. He wants to show me. So why don't you let me look at it? And if it's worth the time, then I'll bring you to look at it." So he already had some sort of plan in place after talking to his friend about how he's going to start looking at houses. This is the end of January 2021. So I kind of threw my hands in the air and was just like, whatever, because I'm not
Nick J, salute. Welcome to the chat.
getting emotionally involved in looking at houses. And for me, that's kind of what it was. I felt like I would see a house, I could picture us living there, and then it gets snatched away somehow, some way. I didn't want to go through that. So the reaction that he wanted, which was for me to throw a fit, I did not do. I was just like, okay, all right, like I trust you. And remember that I said the reaction he wanted because that's going to come back later. So he started looking at houses. Funny enough, the houses that he looked at, none of them I actually saw. But he would call me and say, I'm at this house in Sandy Springs with the realtor friend. Apparently his realtor friend's name was Scott, not to be confused with the other Scott, the one that was actually helping us that dropped us as clients. I want to make that clear. There were two Scotts. One is the realtor who was representing us, who said, hey, I need proof of funds. If you don't have those proof of funds, I cannot show you any more houses. The other Scott is his friend who he had talked to on the phone at least 50 to 100 times in front of me. That's the Scott that he said is going to show me this house in Sandy Springs. Apparently the house was like $800,000. So he was like, I think that if I like the house, then I'm gonna bring you out here so you can see it. All right. Now let's go into part 18.
It's very ironic that he have another friend named Scott too, but mhm. Part 18, let's go.
Okay, part 18. Who the fuck did I marry? So he starts looking at houses in Sandy Springs, Alpharetta area with his friend Scott. Um, I did not see any of these houses. I did not go. I didn't want to go. Um, so what was starting to change is, remember I said before, he would leave the house every day at around 6:15. He would be home every day between 3:30 and 4 o'clock without fail. It was so, I shouldn't say it was annoying, but I could set my clock by the fact that I would hear that garage door open between 3:30 and 4 o'clock every day that he went to work. Even during lockdown, he still had to go to work. His job was only locked down for maybe a week. For me, I was allowed to work from home, but unfortunately, I did not handle it well. And so I would fall asleep and not check email. So my boss was like, yeah, you're going to have to come back to the office because you're not trustworthy. And I wasn't. I mean, I would watch Netflix and not even be on my computer. So
Hey, so when I was working from home, right, man, say that was the best thing ever. Shoot, man, say, hey, if any one of y'all ever work from home, say don't fumble the bag on that because the only thing that you have to deal with working from home is your management. Hopefully, and praying that your management don't micromanage. If they ain't micromanage you at all, and they just letting you rock on, then man, keep that job because work from home is like the best thing ever. I ain't lying. It is the best thing ever. Cause when I don't work for her, I was pretty much done with my work before lunch. I'll be done with my work before lunch and I'll be chilling, just chilling out. And all you gotta do is stay logged on the whole entire time. That's all you got to do. Just pretending that you're working, but you done with work. So I don't she tripping, shoot.
I had to start going back to work every day, 5 days a week. Um, and I was, me and another lady were the only two in there because we were the only two who did not handle work from home properly. Anyway, that's another story. So Legion would, he started to not come home by 4 o'clock. He started to come home 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, sometimes 7 o'clock, because he was saying that he was looking at houses after work with his friend Scott. So it definitely was noticed that things are changing. Um, and I just, at this point, kind of emotionally and mentally, I was just like, I don't know what to do. This is the end of January. Remember, I told you in part 15, I got married January 5th. By January 31st, I kind of knew I was in trouble. And by the end of January, sure enough, I knew things were changing in a way that I was like,
And also, let me give y'all an update on the timeline. Now, this is going right now. This is a little over a year after them meeting with each other. So within a whole year time, she decided to go ahead and marry this dude. After the fact that this dude had lied to her countless of times about different things, she still went on and said, "Hey, you know what? I think I could change him. I think things would get better." And on top of that, I just want to be married. And on top of that, he's, paying the expenses. I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it. So we're just going to let it go what it is. So, yeah.
I hate to sound redundant, but what the fuck is going on? So he's still maintaining the story of looking for a house, looking for a house. I had already let him know my lease is up in August. When my lease is up in August, I am moving to Cobb County. Um, and then my attitude was kind of like, you can go with me or you can stay here. I don't care, but I'm moving. I'm leaving Clayton County. The reason why I was so adamant to move was not because of Clayton County. It was not because of the house that I was in. It was because Legion had started to create this narrative that he was beefing with my female neighbor. He was trying to get me to believe that my female neighbor to the left of me somehow was interested in him.
Hold up, man. That deserve a what?
What? What?
How the Oh goodness.
And so she would make these little comments, and he would come in the house complaining about her and her music and the fact that she had, different men over to the house. It was driving me crazy. And all of this was kind of starting in January. So when I say that, it really seems like we got married January 5th, and then we had 2 weeks of peace, and then something just snapped. I literally mean something just snapped. So he's looking at houses. Now we're moving into February. February obviously is my birthday month. He did good. He did good to make Valentine. He went all out for Valentine's Day. He went all out for my birthday. My birthday and Valentine's Day are February 14th and February 15th. So he went all out on both days. Y'all ain't even gonna believe this story. But I said I would share even when it makes me look bad.
Oh no. Tell the congregation your story. We all invested in it now. We in part 18, so whatever you tell us, it's not gonna be no surprise at this point, but go ahead.
So, the weekend after my birthday, and what I mean by that is if my birthday was on a Tuesday, we're talking about Saturday. The weekend after my birthday, he gave me money to go to the nail salon, go get a manicure and pedicure. So I leave the house. I take his car. His car was in the driveway. We had a key to each other's car because, again, we're married at this point. We're talking February 2021. So I take his car and I drive to the nail salon over in Morrow. I'm in the chair getting a pedicure, and I get a text message from my husband saying, someone was just at the house looking for you. And I'm like, who was looking for me? Who was it? And he said, I don't know. I think it was some, this is through text. I don't know. I think it was some dude you used to mess with. Okay. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, I'm telling you, some guy just came to the house looking for you. I told him you were not here. So at this point, y'all, I'm in the chair at the salon.
Miss Gail, salute, welcome. And yes, hit that like button while y'all come on in, y'all, because this is some good old juicy content right here.
I'm freaking out because I'm like, who the fuck has the audacity to come to my home unannounced, uninvited, talking about they're looking for me, especially because before I met my husband, I was working the last shift at Amazon as a part-time job. So I had not dealt with, dated anything with anyone for about a year before I met him in.
Let me address Amazon real quick. All right. So I had did a side hustle with working with Amazon at one point in time. All right. The reason why I now worked with Amazon at the time is because I really wanted to. I really wanted to have this huge Christmas thing for the children because I believe that my children deserve a whole lot of stuff, and so that year our children was asking for a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly believe that they deserved it. So that year I had decided to do a part-time job. While I still working full-time at my job, I had also did a part-time job working for Amazon, working for the Amazon Fulfillment Center to be exact. I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I'm gonna be wondering with y'all. Working at Amazon is slave work for real. Them people that they be getting our orders together for Amazon and stuff, y'all need to appreciate them for real. Them people who get the order together, they be packaging them up and allocated where it need to be shipped out to all the way up to the delivery drivers, and delivery drivers going and delivering your information. Y'all need to show them respect for real, like for real, because Amazon is a slave house job. That job is extremely hard. I want to tell people to go work with Amazon unless you just flat out don't have no money and you need to make some money and you have zero options. Then go work at Amazon. But if you're just trying to go there because you want to get a job, you're trying to get a career at Amazon, hell no. Amazon is slavery for real. Kid you not. The management there is horrible. The team there is even more horrible. Then on top of that, you be set up here working with the most ghettoest people known to man at Amazon. With the time that I worked there at Amazon part time, right? It was during the holiday season, start of the holiday season, starting in October. I worked from October until the end of December. That was the worst job I ever worked at. Period. Around the time do they pay good? I mean, not really. To me, they don't. To me, they don't. But that job is horrible. Well, when I say that job was a walking soap opera, it was. Man, it was people at Amazon. They was up here sleeping with each other, especially if you worked there overnight. It was people sitting up here going to secret areas of that warehouse, having sex with each other, going in trucks, having sex with each other, doing all kind of crazy stuff at Amazon. Having relationships. I done seen baby daddies, baby mamas pulled up to Amazon fighting each other, doing all kind of ghetto stuff up there. I done seen people like even in the parking lot. I done seen people just getting out their car and just walking into the building about getting ran over by a car because a person is running late to work. And so Amazon had a certain type of doxing system right there. You have to make it there on time. If you don't make it there on time, they're gonna dox the hell out of you, and they're gonna dox the hell out of your pay. So it made people rush to get to work. So I kid you not, it was a person that was just walking for his girl, going to the building. Next thing you know, a car flying in the parking lot, bam, hit him. That's how ghetto as hell Amazon is. So I wouldn't, unless you just need a hustle. That's the one time I say go to Amazon. But other than that, no. I put it to y'all this way: working at FedEx or working at UPS is way better than working at Amazon. I'm gonna be real with y'all on it, for real. UPS and FedEx is hard, but Amazon is slavery for real. Amazon is like the equivalent of you going and picking cotton. Try to be real. So like if so like those of y'all who be ordering them packages on Amazon and stuff, right? Do get your orders and sometimes the delivery be delayed or whatever or something where it happened. I'm just saying y'all need to show respect to the people because they be going through a whole lot for real. I ain't lying. They be going through a whole lot. Even the delivery driver, they be going through a whole lot, y'all. So I just wanted to throw that out there to y'all. All right. But let's continue.
March of 2020. So I really was like, who the hell is this coming to my house? So I finish the pedicure, I head home. Once I get home, I'm like, what are you talking about? What happened? And so I'm frazzled in a way. And he's calm. He was like, yeah, it was a black Dodge Charger. They pulled into the driveway, they backed in. They backed in as if they had been here before. So clearly this was someone who's been to your house. He got out the car. He said, I opened the door and I went out there and I said, is there something I can help you with? And he said, the guy said, I'm looking for, and gave him my name. And he said, I'm sorry, she's not here. And he said, he was like, oh, okay. All right then. And just got in the car and drove off. And I was like, my brain stopped working because I'm thinking, who the heck could this be? A Dodge Charger? I was like, are you sure that it wasn't law enforcement? Like, was it the sheriff's office trying to serve me with a lawsuit for a credit card I didn't pay? He was like, no, he was in regular clothes. He was like, and it was not a police car. It was on a marked unit, basically. And so I'm just like, who the heck could this be? And he was like, I know who it was. And I said, who? He was like, I think it was your ex. I said, what ex? He was like, the one that you had dated for 2 years. Remember back in like part 3, part 4, I told y'all he told me about his ex. I told him about mine. I thought we were being honest with each other. So now, fast forward to February 2021, and he's telling me, yeah, I think it was the ex that you had been dealing with for those 2 years before you met me. I said, so you think that he showed up to the house uninvited after 2 years? And he was like, well, whoever it was clearly was comfortable backing into our driveway, getting out the car, and was like, I'm here to see, and gave him my name. And so he was like, she's not here. Is there something I can help you with? And the guy was like, nah, it's cool. And then just got in the car and drove off. So, again, brain is like, who could this be? So then Legion says to me, you know what? The way that you reacting to this is real suspect. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, you over here freaking out. I told you I took care of it. I told you it was fine. And you over here freaking out, which makes me wonder, what have you been up to? Now, let's go to part 19.
Oh, this is gonna be very interesting now. Yeah, let's go to part 19 because I'm very curious about this one.
Okay, part 18. Who the fuck did I marry? So he says to me, the way you're acting is real.
Your gal Big Facts gaslighted like ain't nothing. So that's why I'm very curious about this. So let's see how this is gonna go. y'all right. Y'all right. Gaslighted like ain't nothing. Y'all right on that one. So I'm very curious about this one. So let's go. Let's go.
Okay, part 18. Who the fuck did I marry? So he says to me, the way you're acting is real suspect because I told you it was fine. I took care of it. He was like, I ain't even worried about it. He was like, obviously, that nigga didn't know that you now married, that you've moved on. And so now he knows it. But for me, it was the fact that I don't do pop-ups. Don't come to my house unannounced. So if someone has done that, for me, it automatically feels like a violation and it feels like it needs to be addressed. So it was not as simple as, I already took care of it, it's fine, let it go. Nah, we ain't letting nothing go because you don't have my permission to show up to my house. And before this turns into something where I'm going to be on Fox 5 News, I need to address that with you because that is not okay. So he didn't like the reaction I had to the story he told me, where someone basically disrespected my home. And he felt like my reaction was really suspect. So, what I'm gonna get into the little details that he did not know about. So, he tells me again it was a black Charger, a black Dodge Charger. They backed into the driveway. A gentleman got out of the car and he asked for me by name, and Legion said she's not here. So, I asked him what.
I'm just flabbergasted at the point that she now calling this dude the devil, man. And on top of that, she calling this dude Legion. According to the Bible, Legion means that dude got a lot of familiar spirits in him. Well, when you translate that right into dealing with behavior right, that means that this dude got multiple personality disorder. That's pretty much what she's saying. But even then, she married this dude. So
does the guy look like? And he said, he was like, why does it matter? I said, what the fuck does he look like? So Legion proceeds to give me the most generic description you can give. He was like, well, he was shorter than me. Ex-husband is about 6'3", 6'4". He was shorter than me. He was brown skinned. I said, did he have a hat on his head? Mind you, I understand that before marriage, I was a damn fool. I understand that. But every woman has that moment where you only gonna fool her but for so long. And eventually puzzles start coming together. For me, I felt like moving into marriage, certain things started coming together. So I said to him, did he have a hat on his head? He was like, nah, he ain't wear a hat. So in my mind, I am mentally going down a list of every possible man it could be. And it was only like four men. I had been in that house about 3 or 4 years at this point. So I knew all of the people, and I'm talking about from maintenance down to ex boyfriends. It was a total of like four men.
so he already articulated that this was her ex allegedly. So why did she needed to think about every possible dude that could show up there when that's what he's saying? When in fact you know that this dude is lying. If she already established the fact that this dude is lying, she didn't have to put herself through all that unnecessary gaslighting. But let's go.
So when he said that it was a black Charger, I immediately was like, okay, I know that crosses out one. He said he was shorter than him. All of them were shorter than him. I said, did he have a hat on his head? He said, no, that crossed out one because one in particular was a maintenance guy who always wore a hat on his head because he had like a bruise or something, and he was just self conscious about it. So he always wore a hat. That leaves two. So I said, was he muscular or was he skinny? So Legion's getting all frustrated. I said, just answer the question. He was like, well, he was kind of in between. And I said, okay. He was in between. I said, so was he light skinned or was he dark skinned? He was like, I told you he was brown skinned. I said, was he my complexion? He said, no, he was brown skinned. That eliminates one. So now there's one left. And yes, the one left would have been the ex that I had dated for 2 years. And so he was like, I know it was your ex. I know it was your ex. And I was like, that don't make no sense because the ex that in my mind, I'm saying this, the ex that I had dated, he and I had no contact with each other. And he was not the type to just pop up at your house. That ain't his style. Not to mention, and I ain't tell Legion this, that man would not be caught dead driving a Dodge Charger. He hated Chargers because he drove it as a patrol car. So I didn't say anything. I just was like, that's weird. So, what Legion didn't know is that at the time I had a security system. So, I had a security system where anytime the front door, the garage door, or the back door was open, basically any entry point, anytime it was open or closed, it would send me a text message notification. So when he's telling me all this, I'm looking at my phone and I see a notification where the front door was opened and it was shut all within the same minute. So, for example, if it says front door open at 1 p.m., front door closed at 1 p.m. So, whatever he did was within those 60 seconds. He's telling me the story of the guy got out the car. He opened the door. He went out there. Can I help you? And the guy said, I'm looking for. And Legion said, no, she's not here. And so he said the guy kind of was like, okay. And he was like, all right, thank you. And got in the car and drove off. Legion has also told me that he watched him drive out of the neighborhood, which means because of the way the house was set up, the townhouse, he would have still been outside watching this. I could be wrong, but something in me was like, that would take more than 60 seconds. So for the door to have been open and shut within the same 60 seconds, I was like, okay. So also what he didn't know, we didn't have a Ring door camera, but my neighbor did. And her Ring door camera caught my driveway. The view of the camera could see my driveway as well as her driveway, and so whoever was coming in the door, our driveways were right next to each other, and then on the other side of it was the grass, so it was a perfect view of my driveway. So I had texted her and I said, "Hey, were you home?" I think I texted her the next day because I said, "Were you home on Saturday?" Da, 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 da. And she said, "No, I wasn't. What's up? Everything good?" And I said, "Can you look at your security system and see if there was a car that came to my house at such and such time?" And I know I did not tell her the reason I was asking, but I was like, "Is there any way that your security camera caught if someone came to my house at this time on Saturday?" She's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll look." And so maybe about a couple of hours later, she texted me back and said, "Hey, I looked at the camera, but I didn't see anything." And I
Hmm.
said, "Okay, by any chance, did it catch if someone maybe walked up the driveway? Like maybe it wasn't a car in the driveway, but someone walked up." She said, "I didn't see anything with your driveway yesterday." So I said, "Okay." And I knew that something in me again was like, nobody came to the house. So now here we are, a month and a half married, and now is when I'm like, why the fuck did he make that up?
And also, just to bring even more clarity, this is the first month of them being married, but this is them being 1 year of being together. All right.
Because no one came to the house. No black charger came to the house, pulled backed into the driveway. Nobody got out the car and asked for me. Nobody was looking for me. So now I was sitting in the bedroom thinking through all this, and I'm like, why the fuck did he make that up? Because that's what happened. I'm looking at the text messages on my phone where he's telling me someone just came to the house looking for you, but no one came. So what was the purpose of that? And then something said to me, something in me said, he wanted to see your reaction. He just wanted to see the reaction. You had been too calm, and so he wanted to see a reaction. So this man gaslit me like I was Georgia Natural Gas just to get a reaction. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part 20 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
And she overly emphasized that one. So who was writing the chat about she being gaslit? Who's writing the chat? Everybody. Everybody writing the chat. Yeah, you being gaslit like ain't nothing. Did 22, he said this, he's like, yeah, conjure up a lot for an ongoing argument. That's what's going down. Yep. Scorpio, she talking about 22. Everybody say that I'm a bully anyway. Yeah, that's facts. Scorpio, you know you be bullying around. I'm just saying. This Lord. 22, he said too old to be playing games. I agree. Gail, she said he was just testing her and she failed. All that energy wasted when she knew he was lying when he said her ex came by. That's what I'm saying. She knew that, but she doesn't follow her instincts. She should have followed her female intuition, like usual. So we are now at part 20. Okay, we're part 20 of the saga. Now, let me ask y'all this. Right after we do part 20, it's gonna be y'all choice. Okay. After part 20, I can either keep going and we can keep reviewing this until we get to part 30, at least by 5 more videos. Yeah, 5 more videos, that'll be part 25, 20 to 25. So if you want to do part 20 to 25 right now, let me know in the chat and we'll keep going. We'll keep going, at least to part 25. Let me know. If not, then we will end this stream, then we'll reconvene later on tonight, starting with part 21. So y'all let me know what y'all want to do in the chat. What y'all want to do. Do y'all want to keep going? And we get at least to part 25, or we can want to end it and we'll want to pick up later on tonight. Now, I know that I have another one stream scheduled, but since this is very popular and everybody, including myself, is vested into this, I don't mind keep pushing that other stream back until we finish this saga. I don't mind doing that at all. So y'all let me know what y'all want me to do. What y'all want Urban to do? What y'all want? Scorpio said, shoot, the hell with it, Urban. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go, Urban. Shoot, we in this thing. We in it for real. That's what I'm saying. So Constance said, Urban, do more, then we'll just finish it later on tonight. I got you, Constance. I got you. So we'll do that. We'll do part 20, we'll do part 20 through 25. All right. So let me do this real quick. Let me do this real quick for y'all. Where we at? All right. I'm adding it on right now. All right, we got 5 more videos added right now. You fix this real quick. We're gonna do this thing, y'all. We're gonna continue. All right, so let's do part 20. 22 says, sure, I can at least do 2 more. You know what I'm saying? Gary said, man, hey, I need popcorn. I wait till tonight. I feel y'all there, bro. I feel you. But yeah, here we go. We're gonna do part 20 to 25, and then we'll call it a day. Then we'll reconvene later on tonight. All right. So, cause I don't want to keep letting it go. Then y'all start falling asleep at work. The next thing you know, y'all gonna start gaslighting me, Urban, sitting up here saying that it was my fault that y'all not being productive at work, cause y'all sitting up here listening to this whole entire stream. So I'm just saying. But yeah, I gotta let my eyes rest. Appreciate that. But so we're gonna do 5 more. We're gonna do 20 to 25. We're calling it a day. All right. Once again, appreciate everybody tuning into the stream. Those of y'all who ever hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button while you come on in. Those of you ever to share out the stream as well, make sure you do that too, because it helps out the channel. So let's go. Part 20.
All right, part 20 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So after the black Dodge Charger incident, things were quiet. Legion was fine. Legion slept just fine. Me, that shit played over in my head for days and days and days. On one hand, I was like, I know nobody came. My head knew nobody came to the house. My heart was like, but maybe he didn't make it up. So the head and the heart were absolutely playing a tug of war because, again, I really couldn't fathom that he was making it up. But nevertheless, I filed it in the back of my mind in my little filing cabinet, my mental filing cabinet. So a few weeks later, we go out to eat at this restaurant in Atlanta. It's a burger place, and I'm going to do my best by the time I post this to put the name of the burger place on the screen.
Before she get to that, my bad. I meant to do this too. I want to shout out. I want to do a shout out to all my moderators, man. Say I got some really good moderators in the house for real. Constance Scorpio, Mama, I appreciate y'all. Side Pass, we really I appreciate you as well too. And Gail at night, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Doing a fabulous job, like always, coming in and moderating for my channel because it is well needed. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. But let's get to it, y'all.
So we go to the burger place, eat dinner, everything was fine. As we are leaving, he says to me, did I ever show you where my grandmother's buried? This is the grandmother that passed away from COVID in 2020. And I said, no. I was like, we haven't been over here. And so he was like, let me show you. So he drives us to the cemetery, which is not far from the restaurant. He drives us to the cemetery, goes around and around, and then it comes to like a little hill in the cemetery. And he was like, you see the headstone. The headstone had like the family name on it. And it did not have, for example, John David Doe. It just had Doe. Okay. So there were no dates on it. So it reminded me of just a headstone where it was probably multiple family members buried underneath it. That's what it reminded me of. And so he was like, my grandfather and my grandmother are buried there. I do recall him telling me when the grandmother died in 2020 that she wanted to be buried next to his grandfather. And so he told
Hey Gary, I'm actually with you on that because I remember during the time of the pandemic that they was postponing funerals. I remember that happened where you couldn't go to a funeral. You couldn't do nothing there. Plus, during that time, people were so afraid of the pandemic that there was literally set up here instead of burying people, there was literally cremating some folks. So, mm, well, I could be wrong.
we're sitting in the car because we can see the headstone like on top of the hill from the car. And he tells me that that is where his grandmother and grandfather are buried. That the family was able to get her, her wishes were to be buried next to the grandfather. Okay. So as we are leaving, we take a different route home. So we get on the highway. If you're from Atlanta, you'll know what I'm talking about. We get on I-75 North. And we're kind of we're just driving around, to be honest with you. But we're taking the scenic route. We get on I-75 North because the reason why I remember is because when you're on I-75 North going towards Atlantic Station, on the right-hand side, you will see the Varsity. You'll see all these tall skyscraper buildings. One of the buildings has the letters NCR on the building. As we're coming up towards the building, he says to me, do you see the NCR building? I said, yeah. He said, the building behind it, my job bought that building. That's where we're going to have, we're setting up operations. And I was like, why the hell would y'all buy a condiment company in downtown Atlanta? He was like, no, we're not doing production there. It's just going to be offices, and that's where we're going to handle like the business portion. The production is still being done in Gwinnett County out in Duluth. And so I was like, oh, okay. He was like, that's where I keep the company car. So I was like, the company car? I said, aren't you supposed to be bringing the company car home? And he was like, I don't want to bring the company car home because it's Clayton County and it's a $90,000 car. And I don't want no problems. So he's telling me that he keeps the company car at the building downtown Atlanta that's behind the NCR building. I barely could see what building he's talking about, but he was like, it's the building right behind it. And so he's telling me that that's where his office is. So I said to him, take me to your office. I know it's a Saturday, but shit, you wanted the VPs, right? So take me to your office. No, I had not been to his office simply because, again, COVID. So I was like, take me to your office. And he was like, I can. He was like, that's no problem. So do I have the other phone? I do. So y'all are in luck. So I can maybe reenact how this goes. So he gets off the exit and starts driving towards the NCR building. While he's driving towards the NCR building, he always has kept his phone in his left pocket. This is my left hand. So he pulls his phone out and he starts calling. He tells me he's calling Willie. Willie is supposed to be the head of security. So he's saying, let me call Willie real quick to make sure that the building's open. So he proceeds, this is another phone, but he proceeds to go ahead and call Willie. We're still driving, by the way. We're still driving. I'm on the phone, scrolling through Facebook, trying to figure out some random shit. But he's driving with the phone up to it. So driving with the phone, next thing I hear, hey, Willie, it's Legion. Hey, how's it going? I'm good. Hey, is the building open? No, I just want to take my wife up there so she can see it and see my office. Are you up there right now? You're not? Okay, is Mr. Justin working? Okay. So is there anybody up there that can physically open the building? Because I don't think my badge is going to get me at least in the front door because of it's on the weekend lock. Okay.
Wait, hold up. Ain't he the what he say? He the VIP CEO, wherever the hell he said he is, right? So why did he need permission through security to enter into his own building? I'm just saying. I'm just saying that yes, constants that deserve another what moment.
What? What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, girl. Like he's the VP. How the hell he don't have access to the building? That's crazy. What the hell?
What?
Okay. All right, let me know. All right. Thank you, Willie. Bye. Y'all see how I did that? He's having this whole conversation while I'm sitting in the passenger seat. So then he gets off the phone and he says to me, Willie is not working and Justin apparently called out sick. So the building is locked and my badge won't get us in the front door. He was like, Willie's going to see if there's someone else that can open the front door so we can actually get in. He's like, my badge will get us on the floor, but it will not get us in the front door. No one ever called. So when he's getting off the highway, he basically turns onto Spring Street. Again, there's all kinds of shit I distinctly remember. He turns onto Spring Street so that he can then get on 75 South so we can go home. Never saw the office that day. But again, this is where he's saying that he keeps the company car. So when we get to part 21, I'll kind of go into detail about the whole company car a little bit more.
All right, let's get it. 21. Let's go. 21.
Part 21, who the fuck did I marry? So the company car apparently was a charcoal gray BMW. I believe it was a 5 Series. It was a 5 Series. I don't know much about the sedans. Y'all know I wanted the X5 dark blue with the cognac interior. He got the BMW 5 Series charcoal gray. He sent me a picture of the car. So I did see a picture of the car. After this whole NCR building, take me to your office, that is what he's claiming, is that he leaves the company car at that location. He's saying that he drives from Riverdale to Midtown, switches out cars, and then drives from Midtown to Duluth. Those that don't know how Metro Atlanta is, basically Midtown would be in between where we live and Duluth. I only know that he left the house every day at 6:15. I know that I never physically saw the company car come to our home.
Gary, man, Gary, you dropping the ball now, bro. You dropping the ball a lot. You just fumbling all over the place. This Gary, man. It's okay. It's okay, Gary. We all lose sometime. You know what I'm saying?
It's all pictures, plural. So when he told me that he got a BMW 5 Series, keep in mind, this is after I had been promised a dark blue X5. So I was a bit salty. I don't care if it is a company car. I was a bit salty. I will admit that. Because I felt like you get to drive the car that you know I really want, which is a BMW. And so he would call me from the car. He would tell me, yeah, I may just drive home in this car and not switch back to his personal car. He was like, I don't know. He did that a lot. And I realize now in 2024, he did that because he knew how excited I was to actually see the car. Because shit, I wanted to test drive it myself, to be honest with you. And he knew that. So, reactions. So he would say stuff like that, like, man, I'm so tired. I might just drive the company car, go ahead and go home. And then, just let me park it in a garage type thing. So eventually he stopped doing that because I didn't want to hear nothing about that car. I'm driving a Nissan and you driving a BMW after you promised me a BMW. So I don't really want to hear nothing about it. So in terms of the company car, I did see that it was according to the pictures, a charcoal gray BMW 5 Series. If you're asking me the exact model, I don't know. But I know it was a 5 Series because I know the 7 Series is slightly longer. So it's a 5 Series sedan. So after the whole situation with the cemetery to see his grandmother and grandfather's headstone, then there was the NCR, the office is open. Oh, it's not open. Justin ain't working. Willie ain't working. Willie is supposed to be head of security, but he ain't working. Okay. So at this point, I'm already numb. It is important for me to point out how numb I became dealing with him. Mind numbing, because I just got to a point where it was like, there's always something. There's always something.
Did we always have to go back to the fact that this is something that she's choosing to be a part of too? So once again, understandable that you're dealing with this situation, but you're choosing this. You're choosing to stay at this for your reasons. So
of course we're not going to go to the office because there's going to be something. So this is the end of February. My birthday had already passed. There clearly was tension on my end, not so much tension on his end. So I get home a couple of weeks later. We are now in the beginning of March. This is something personal about me. The only way you would know this is if you know me. I have been dying to go to London and Paris. I had a layover in London when I did a study abroad, but it's not the same. I want to go to London and be a whole tourist. I don't care. I want to see Buckingham Palace. I want to see the Tower of London. I want to see Paris. I want to see the Palace of Versailles. This is something, if you know me, she wants to see Paris. She wants to see London. So I get home from work. This is the beginning of March. I
Before she continue this point, this something else that I don't understand what modern day women do. Okay, when y'all going out and y'all getting y'all degrees and different things like that and establish yourself into the business marketplace, right? Why don't y'all just go ahead and get all this stuff out the way for us, like traveling abroad? Why don't you just go on and go to the places that you want to go? Why do they believe that in order for them to go to these certain places that they have to be married to a man? Then on top of that, they want the man to pay all the expenses of going to this place. The reason why is because, like I stated earlier, a lot of these modern day women with this type of behavior, they want the man to do everything because they want the man to be their stability. They really do. That's why also she was feeling salty about that alleged BMW because she felt that she was entitled to that, which due to the situation that she going through right now, and I can honestly say she rightfully so deserve it, even though she making this decision to be in this. But if you want to do all that, you don't have to wait on a man to do that. Just go ahead and do it. Just travel abroad. Go to London, Paris, England. Shoot, go to New Mexico. Go to I don't care. Go to Bermuda. Shoot, do it on your own accord. All right. Instead of trying to wait on a man to do that for you, because that's just ridiculous to me. But let's continue.
get home from work, and on the counter is a folder with like a little bow on it. And I'm like, oh, what is this? Is this like mail? Like, was this something that you got at work? He's like, nah, it's a surprise for you. I open up the folder. Inside the folder is like a trip itinerary. It is not an actual booked trip. It's like an itinerary. Um, a trip for two to go from Atlanta to London. The trip should have happened, and it was the the month on there was like July, so it was a summer trip. So he tells me, I'm gonna take you to London. He was like, I wanted to take you for your birthday, but certain things fell through. He was like, so this summer in July, we're going to go to London. He was like, I've already made a reservation for us to stay at the Savoy. Again, there's certain things that my brain just was like, remember that, remember that. He said, I've already made a reservation for us to stay at the Savoy. I know, as much as I want to go to London, y'all, I didn't know anything about the Savoy. And so I remember going to look it up because I was like, what is the Savoy? Well, apparently the Savoy is bougie, very bougie. So I was so excited. I cannot tell y'all how fucking excited I was when I saw that he had printed out British Airways. Like, he was speaking my language. I am one of those people, I'm a planner. So when he's saying, I'm going to take you to London, and he took the time to research flights and print it out and research the Savoy and print it out, and there were different not excursions, but there were different things that you could do. You could go see the Tower of London, you could go see Buckingham Palace, changing of the guard, we could go have high tea at certain places.
And Gary and 22, I was just about to get ready to mention that too. I was about to get ready to mention that. That dude lying like ain't nothing. Then on top of that, we're still post pandemic, meaning that a lot of flights had been suspended where you couldn't even travel during that time. So why in the hell did she have this huge expectation that this was going to happen? Modern day women. But go ahead.
He was like, I don't really want to go, but I know you're dying to go. So he was like, you know, I love you and I would do anything for you. Blah, blah, black sheep, have you any wool? And so he was like, I'm going to take you to London in July. The trip did not include Paris. That's fine. But I was so excited. So excited. And so this is the beginning of March. I was like, this is great. Hopefully this happens. I knew I needed to renew my passport, And he was saying that he had to renew his passport as well because his passport had expired. So both of us were like, okay, we need to get on this if we're going to try to make it to London in July, and it's now March. Me being the planner I am, I think I went to work the next day and printed out the passport applications so that we could fill it out and go ahead and get that process going. So, needless to say,
let me make this other point about the passports. Okay, now I know this for a fact that um, a lot of things were suspended. A lot of things, flights were suspended during post pandemic, and also you getting an application to acquire a passport was not only suspended, but it was backed all the way up. In order for you to get a passport during that time, you literally had to wait almost nearly a year for the one passport to get finalized and everything. Because keep in mind, during post pandemic, a lot of people were working from home at that time, especially people who work for the state. They was working at home during that time. Okay, so they didn't have all all the stuff that they needed to make their job as efficient as possible working home. There were a lot of cut arounds that they had to do. That's what caused the passport system to get backed up as far as it did. So by her knowing all this right, I don't know why in her brain she decided that this was factual, but mm,
hey, something must have happened, and I don't remember what it was. We just simply didn't fill out the application for the passport. So, fast forward, we're now at mid March. Mid March, the decision was made that my mom, who lived in Arkansas, was coming to visit us. She would be coming, I believe, the second week of April, and she was going to stay a week and then a few days. So, like, maybe a total of 9 days. Not quite 2 weeks, but a little over a week. So she was coming in April, and I was excited. Legion was excited because he was excited to physically meet my mom. He had talked to her on Zoom, he had talked to her on the phone, but he was excited to physically meet my mom. And my mom was excited to physically meet her son-in-law. So this is mid-March. I'm going to go into part 22 where I explain what happened with Facebook Messenger.
all right, part 22 is coming up. Just like what Gail said, please click that like button, and I appreciate everyone who did. So let's get it. Part 22.
Part 22, Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So now we are in March. This is right after he had surprised me with the announcement of we're going to go to London for a trip in July. Because we definitely didn't do a honeymoon. We definitely didn't do any sort of trips together. So the idea was we're going to do a trip in July together. One thing about Legion was that he was the guy who was like, I have nothing to hide. I don't lie. I don't like liars. If we're in a relationship, then everything should be out in the open. So I've always
I just thought about this too. She never disclosed their actual marriage yet. She never disclosed on how they got married. Did they get married at the courthouse? Did they have a ceremony? Did they have a small ceremony? She never said that yet. Maybe she'll say it later on, but I know for a fact she have not told us that yet.
had his cell phone passcode. Never felt the need to look through his cell phone. And funny enough, I can tell y'all right now, disclaimer, I will.
Hey, Gary, this is a ongoing catfish. Pretty much, that's what this is. Then the 22, he asked me this. He said, "Say, every man, let's be real about it. Do you think she materialistic? Yeah, yeah. She she materialistic because this is what she wanted. She wanted to be married, and on top of that, she wanted a man to take care of her. So she is choosing to do all this. She choosing this. So that's why I say that in a way she's really not a victim because she's enabling all this behavior.
Never go through his cell phone again. You cheating piece. So anyway, um, so one day, this is mid-March, going like around March 20th. So we're heading in towards the end of the month. He was in the shower. Keep in mind, my mom is coming for a visit in April. So he was in the shower and he received a text message on his phone from a woman. The text message, because it was a preview, so the text message was something where if you didn't know the context of the text thread, you could either go left or you could go right with it. So, me being just curious, I opened up the phone, put the passcode in, read the text, then read the thread. Come to find out, it was a text from his aunt. His aunt and his ex share the same name. That's why I say it could go left or it could go right. Text was from the aunt. So I looked at the text, went through the thread, nothing in there. So I went ahead, X'd out of the messages. I see that.
So hold up. She and are reading the thread of the text without this dude's permission, but yet it's still you showing signs that you don't trust this dude at all, but yet it's still you stay in a relationship. Huh.
It's just fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
But continue, African Queen.
He has Facebook Messenger downloaded, and obviously it shows you the number of unread messages in the icon. So it showed that he had like 5 unread messages. So I clicked on it, just being nosy. And what do my wondering astigmatism eyes see? So in his Facebook Messenger is about 7 women. I can see their profile picture and I see their names. Some of them had a preview. The ones that he had not read, I could see the preview of the message. One in particular said, "When are you gonna come get this?"
What?
Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I clicked on that one first. And I'm reading through the thread. And so she's saying, "When are you going to come get this?" But earlier in the thread, or further back in the thread, he had asked her, "When are you going to give me?"
What?
And she said, "When lockdown is over." So from what I could piece together, he had not yet physically gotten with her. But had there been no COVID, oh, he would have smashed all day, every day. The other messages were innuendos, meaning the other messages from the other women were innuendos. They were not as graphic as the one between him and her. So I'm reading these messages, and what is interesting is that the person I am married to is not the person in these messages. Like, this man was on some nasty shit. And I say nasty not in a judgmental way, but in a, with me, he seemed to act as if I was damn near virginal white. And I clearly see evidence that you into some shit that with me, you acting like, nah, I ain't really into that. So I confronted him. I absolutely confronted him and was like, what the fuck is this? If 2 + 2 is 4 and 5 + 5 is 10, what the fuck is this? And so he did not, oh, that ain't what happened, blah, blah, blah. Instead, what he hit me with is, man, I was just playing around. Like, ain't nothing happened. I shouldn't have said all that, but
Y'all already know what Juan Figueroa say. Y'all already know Juan Figueroa say. If 2 + 2 = 4, 5 + 5 = 10, then why in the hell did you decide to stay with him? Understand? And that's bars.
What?
Why the hell you decided to stay with this dude? Now, I'm not condoning the behavior because it's pretty fucked up. It really is. But she staying with this dude is just unreal to me. Unreal.
it's just flirting. It ain't mean nothing. I don't even know that girl. I was just flirting. And so I'm like, is this what you into? And so he was like, no, it's not what I'm into. It was just stupid. It was stupid because I shouldn't have done it. So I'm going to be honest with y'all because I've been honest all this time. What pissed me off the most was that here I am as a woman behaving, trying to do the right thing by him and this marriage. And you mean to tell me you out here offering your dingaling to random chicks that you don't even know? I was more angry at the fact that I'm like, dude, do you know how much I have turned down in order to be faithful to your dumb ass? And I'm seeing that you basically are out here acting like you got Skittles taste the rainbow.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of which, I do got some on Skittles, by the way. Let me eat my Skittles real quick, cause this crowd crazy as hell. Let me go and eat my Skittles. I'm finna taste the rainbow like a mug. Yeah. Delicious.
I was hurt. I was angry. I thought about getting my lick back. I'm just being honest, I did. And he played it off like it ain't nothing serious. It ain't nothing serious. Don't overreact. Don't get emotional. It was just dumb. He was like, I will delete the messages. I'll even delete Messenger. And I told him, I was like, that's really not good enough because that's not gonna fix the root of the issue. So this is where I introduced that we need to do marriage counseling. He didn't
Hold up. So now she want to do marriage counseling. Oh my God.
have any issue doing marriage counseling. We did not do premarital counseling. But he was like, that's fine. He was like, I don't have no problem doing marriage counseling because if anything, it can help us. So I thought that, okay, he may not have physically cheated from what I could see on the messenger. He may not have physically cheated, but he damn sure got caught, doing a little something, because they had exchanged pictures. So y'all know what pictures he sent. And I was disappointed because I don't like men that send I don't like men that send those type of pictures. But anyway, that's another issue. So we agreed that we would start marriage counseling. We also agreed that we would put on a united front when my mom got there. In other words, we were not going to argue. We, let's just act like everything is fine. But at that point, when my mother arrived in April, I could not stand him. I did not want to be, but we couldn't, he moved back into our bedroom because he had moved into the guest bedroom when I saw the messages.
Green Gertrude, salute. I voted on your timeline, by the way. I'm sorry, on your community wall, by the way. You better be getting that down forward. So if you don't get that darn forward that I voted for, I'm gonna take my vote back.
Like
the hell.
3 days before she came, he moved back into the bedroom because obviously she needed to sleep somewhere. So I really could not stand him. And it was because I was busy second guessing myself, like, damn, what's wrong with me? Like, if that's what you into and I'm supposed to be your wife, like, let's have conversations. Like, shit, I went to FAMU. I understand some stuff, buddy. So it just was one of those things where it made me second guess, like, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? What is it that she got that I don't? Because you all out here willy-nilly, messaging her all hours of the night, because the thread went back quite a few weeks. I saw it in March. There were messages from December, November. So again, I'm just second guessing all kinds of stuff, self-esteem taking a hit. So no, I did not want to be around him. I did not.
Now. You can't get upset because that dude was exercising his options. Can't get upset at that. Because once again, you chose to be in this situation. You chose to be in this alleged high value dude, allegedly. And you want this allegedly high value dude to take care of you. So you can't get mad. He out there spreading his lawns, exercise his options.
I didn't like him. Period. I did not like him. I left and I would just go for a drive because driving clears my mind. I called my aunt, told her what happened. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend calling family to tell them what's going on in your marriage. But I called my aunt, and my aunt lovingly was like, what do you want me to say? You married him. You know, he ain't
Or her aunt said, "Hey, you married that fool, so
your boyfriend. Y'all can't just break up. That's the hard part about marriage. Is like, I mean, yeah, I guess you could leave him, but at the same time, you married him. So, honey, you gonna have to go back home. And y'all are gonna have to figure this out." She was like, "I can't give you advice on what you should do. I'm sorry that this happened, but you married him." So even though it was just one drive, I went back home, and that's when the discussion was, we need to do marriage counseling.
do you know what? To be honest, the aunt actually gave her some really great advice because normally family would give you advice based on their own anecdotal experience, but she was being real with her. She like, look, I can't tell you what to do because that's not my situation. Maybe in my situation, I will do something differently, which is either do counseling or get a divorce, but it's not me. You're going to have to deal with this on your own because you chose that. So that's some good advice right there. I commend the aunt on that.
Part 23. Who the fuck did I marry? So we agreed to do marriage counseling. I had found a pastor and his wife who agreed to do our counseling, basically. Our counseling was going to be on Zoom, and it was going to be every other week, every other Tuesday. Initially, Legion was participating in it. His body language seemed to be that he was open and receptive to the marriage counseling. Now, the pastor and his wife were deeply concerned at the fact that we had only been married 3 months and we were already dealing with some form of infidelity. We were in marriage counseling, and as the pastor would put it, there seems to not be any sort of intimacy. They were concerned. Rightfully so. I think any person would be if they knew what was going on within those 3 months. So, the pastor and his wife, it is fair to note, we started counseling with them in the spring. We continued counseling with them up until a week before I found out what I found out, and he got kicked out. So, one of the first things that the pastor kind of talked to us about was, are you what was the deal with the Facebook Messenger stuff? And Legion was like, it was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. It really was just attention, and I got carried away. He felt like he was not going to, he kept saying, I'm not going to keep apologizing. I'm not going to keep getting persecuted. After I told you, I'm sorry, I told you I wouldn't do it again, and I want us to move forward. You're either going to forgive me or you're not. The pastor and his wife were like, wow, the audacity is real on this one. So, needless to say, we started moving slowly forward. It was always in the back of my mind, just like it was in the back of my mind with that black Dodge Charger. It was one of those things where, okay, I see how you kind of are moving and operating. He came to me a few days after we started our first counseling session, and he was like, we should get a joint bank account. What he wanted to do was to each one of us have our own account and to get a joint account for our money to go in there for joint expenses. Now, up until this point, he had been paying the rent, the utilities, and I really was just paying for my stuff. So now he's suggesting, look, we're married now, let's go ahead and get a joint account. I wasn't necessarily against it because I knew that I would still have my own account. I would still have my own savings. So what I countered with was, okay, let's take a look and see what we're working with. show me your checking. Let's look at each other's accounts. Look at what we have currently. He was cool with that. So he shows me his checking account. His checking account available balance was about, it was just over 9,600. Mine's was just over 1,500. So there was a huge disparity in the amounts. And so he logged in on the phone and turned it towards me, and I could see available checking, available balance, just over 9,600. I logged into my savings. I showed him how much I had in savings. He picked up his phone, logged into his Chase savings, turned the phone towards me. In the Chase savings, it was roughly about 15,000. But I also knew that he told me he had a U.S. bank savings and he had an offshore savings. So at this point in time, I asked him, show me the U.S. bank savings, show me the other two accounts. He would not do it. This became a huge bone of contention. He would not show me the two accounts that he claims has the most money in there, the accounts that he claims has money for a house in there, because he still was mentioning, hey, we need to get on this house thing if we're going to move when the lease is up. So I'm just adamant on, why don't you want to show me your savings account? You showed me the Chase one. Like, what is the big deal? And so he kept saying, he was like, there's a lot of money in there. And he was like, and my uncle always taught me, this is not the uncle that died, another uncle. My uncle always told me, just keep your money tight because women can be, I said, women, like, we're married. So go ahead and show it to me. He would not show it to me.
I'm laughing about that because a lot of our uncles and fathers told us that too. That's why I'm laughing about it. But go ahead.
So then we went back into marriage counseling, like the next session, and I bring it up. I said, he will not show me these two accounts that he claims has the money in there to buy a house. I told our pastor and his wife, I said, I saw the pre-approval letter, so I don't understand why he's not going to show me, to just put me at ease that he has the money in there. I had never questioned it before because, again, you tell me who in their right mind signs their name to a legally binding offer, an all-cash offer on a house, and they just do it willy-nilly. I don't know anyone that does that. So I actually never questioned what was in the savings because I clearly saw him sign his name to a $699,000 all-cash offer on a house. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back to the parts in this playlist where I talk about what he did when we were looking for a house. So the pastor and his wife were like, Legion, that's not his name, y'all, that's a nickname. Legion, why would you not show your wife your savings account? Like, what's going on here? And so he made up some bullshit. And I remember the pastor's wife was like, something ain't right. And so at this point, Legion kind of shuts down. He's just like, look, y'all are not going to tell me when and where I open up my accounts to show anybody the money I earned. I earned that money. I earned that money by playing football, blood, sweat, and tears. He went to this whole Denzel Washington monologue about how he earned that money, and no one is going to come in and tell him that he needs to open up the account. So then he starts talking about the ex-wife and how she tried to get money from him in the divorce back when they were in California. So now the pastor and his wife, their red flags are just like, whoa. So much so that the pastor's wife said, and I will never forget this, she said, I don't think you all are going to make it to January. What she was talking about is, I don't think y'all are going to make it a year. And I really, truly was like, we're going to make it. Like, of course we're going to make it. And she was just like, I don't have a good feeling about it. And so Legion's all defensive. He at this point, he's folding his arms and because remember, we're on Zoom. He's folding his arms and he's just like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not going to get attacked because I'm not comfortable showing you the amount of money that I have. Money changes people. And I'm not comfortable. So he's playing that victim card. And so the pastor and his wife were like, we're still gonna help y'all as much as we can, but so he was like, I'm not comfortable. And basically the pastor and his wife were like, look, we'll help y'all as much as we can, but there's some deep issues here. And this is what they advised us. Had the two of you came to us for premarital counseling, we would have told you, do not get married. Y'all should not even be together. That is what the pastor and his wife told us in marriage counseling. If you two had come to us for premarital counseling, we would have told you, y'all should not even be together, let alone get married. But here we are. So we will help you guys as much as we can. But the pastor's wife was like, I don't have a good feeling that y'all are going to make it a year.
So let me add on to this. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about having someone professional counsel you, right? The reason why the dude got triggered the way he did is because they asked the question based on their own personal anecdotal experience, meaning that instead of asking the question how the way a therapist would have asked that question, they asked the question based on their religious belief or whatever the case may be. That's why I tell y'all that it is better for you to seek professional help versus going to a pastor and a pastor wife for marriage counsel, because they're not, to be honest with you, they're not qualified to handle situations like this. Sorry. In fact, when me and my wife was going through the process of being married, right, we did not do no biblical counseling section with a pastor. We literally went to a professional person who counseled us and stuff for premarital counseling. Okay, we didn't go to no pastor, anything like that. We did that we did it after where we got married, stuff to the do a post counseling section, and it was still with a professional person. It is way better to do it professionally than trying to go to a pastor, because if you do it, the end result is that it's going to be what they did to this dude, and that's why he got so mad and got so triggered behind it. But all in all, them saying about they're saying about their marriage is not going to last. Duh, we know that, and she knew that, but that is not what she wanted to hear. But let's go. 25.
Part 25, who the fuck did I marry? So we weren't looking at houses anymore. We were not working with a realtor anymore. The end of April, I had decided that I wanted to look for another job. I did. The reason I wanted to look for another job is petty. Yeah, it is. I wanted to look for another job because I was pissed off at the fact that I had basically was dependent on him to help with the car note. So I wanted to look for another job where I could afford life all by myself, including that car note. Basically where I would make more money.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Now she said that she wanted to look for a job because she wanted to be petty, first of all. Then she doubled down and said she wanted to look for another job so she could be able to pay for the car note. But she's already currently working. If she's already currently working, even let's back this all the way back to part 1. All right. She revealed to us in part 1 that prior before meeting this dude, she already had a job. She already had a steady income. She was paying all the bills and everything by herself, everything. So how's it that she don't have enough money to pay for a car note where it makes her want to get a second job? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand that. That that's confusing to me.
I told him that I was going to start looking for another job. He laughed. And his exact words were, "You're not going to leave Georgia State Patrol." He was like, "I swear you love them niggas more than you love me." He laughed. So that fueled me even more. So I was hitting the pavement hard trying to find another job. I was applying to all kinds of places. Got a phone call from my current job. So this is how I ended up in my current job. Got a phone call. They had sent me an email with a background packet. The background packet was long and extensive, but in the background packet, it asked for my spouse's full name, my spouse's date of birth, and my spouse's social security number. So I showed it to Legion and I was like, "I need your social because, I'm applying for this job. It's a great job. It's way more money. And, we're talking about moving anyway to Cobb County. So this is a God thing." He did not want to give me his social. I showed him the paperwork where I was like, "Look, because we are married, I can't lie on here. So help me." So he writes down his social security number on the background packet. And I eventually turned it in. I had scanned it, saved it in my email, and sent it in. And I looked at it one day, just going through it, just making sure I didn't really miss anything. All T's were crossed, all I's were dotted. And I looked at his social, and something about the social seemed different than the social security number that I remember seeing when we did our marriage license. And so, for those who you remember in the previous part, I said I had ran his social security number from the marriage license. Nothing came back. So I thought that I had written it down wrong.
Hold on, what did she say that? Or did I miss something? I don't remember her saying that.
Basically, what it is that the first three numbers were different on the background packet than what was on the marriage license. If you don't know this, here's a little trivia. Your social security number, the first three numbers, pretty much are dictated by the state you were born in and the state that issued your birth certificate. So he was born in Pennsylvania. So the first three numbers of his social security number should be attributed to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, shit, they probably got like 5, 6 different numbers, 3-digit numbers that your social security number can start with. So the social that was on the marriage license, for example, was probably 123. What was on the background was 456.
Queen Gertrude, I I wouldn't say that she fell for a scam, right? The hopes and dreams scam. I'm going to say that she is conspiring in that scam. The reason why I say that is because she's seeing all the signs happening in this relationship. She's seen it from the very beginning, but yet and still she continue on with it. So to me, that means that you're co-conspire with that. That's just like if that's just like he were to go and try to rob a bank, right? And she's the driver, right? They would call that driver the co-conspire because you there driving that person. You knew what that person was going to do, but yet and still, you didn't do your due diligence to either stop it or exit out of it. So yeah, she conspired. She does as a scammer as he is. To be real about it.
Both of those social security 3-digit prefixes are issued through the state of Pennsylvania. Again, this is an example so I can make it clear. So when I saw his social on my background, I immediately knew that was a different social than what I saw on the marriage license. And when I compared, because I had found a copy of the marriage license that we turned in because I had filled it out on the computer. So, sure enough, the first three numbers were different. The rest of the numbers were the same. So, one of two things: either when I ran his background, I did in fact put in the wrong number, or the number on the marriage certificate or the background packet is wrong. So I decided that I was going to roll the dice and take the social from the background packet. Again, this is the background packet that I had to fill out to get my current job. I was trying to get a new job. Okay, so I took that social and I ran a background check on it. What came back on this particular background was all the addresses that the social security number, I guess, had been attached to. So all of the addresses, the states were Georgia, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania. What I did not see was California. So I thought that was weird. I thought, okay, maybe this is not a complete background because clearly he went to San Diego State. It's on his resume.
Appreciate you, Scorpio. You have a great day.
It's on quite a few things. Social media. He didn't have a LinkedIn, but it was on his social media. So clearly he had been to California. So maybe I just need to do a different background check. Also to note, during this time, I think I told you guys he had hit his leg at work. So what was happening was it was getting more and more difficult for him to walk, like put pressure on that leg, on that knee. Um, he was still able to go to work. He was still leaving at 6:15 in the morning. He was still coming back between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. But I clearly could see where he was in pain. He would elevate the knee, ice the knee. It was getting worse, and I was constantly like, "Go to the doctor. Let me take you to urgent care so that they can look at this knee because you shouldn't still be limping and having a hard time putting weight on that knee." And every single time he was like, "Oh, it's fine. I have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. The doctor just told me to ice it and to elevate it. This is an old football injury. It happens all the time. It used to happen a lot when I was out in California." So I'm mentioning this knee issue for a reason. But back to the background. So once again, when I ran the background, this
Well, I'm gonna do a spoiler alert. I haven't seen it, but I know what she's gonna say. He mentioned this knee injury and all this stuff, and the reason why he's not going to the doctor is because he don't have no medical insurance. The reason why he don't have no medical insurance is because he is a LLC. That's why. When you're LLC, you have to pay for your own insurance.
second time with his second social, it showed me states of Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. And that's all that I saw in terms of addresses. I didn't see anything for California. So by this point, we're moving into May of 2021. Things are starting to reopen. One of the things that reopened was San Diego State. So I called San Diego State. I called the registrar's office. Someone did answer, and there was instructions on how to request a transcript. I was able to try to request it online. You needed the student's name, and I believe you also need their social. And when I typed it in, it said no results found. I believe that I sent an email asking, this person is saying that they were a student there. Can you verify it? The response I got was there were no records found with that social security number. So I'm like, okay, I asked him about it. And in part 26, I'll tell you exactly what his response was.
All right, so we're gonna do part 26 later on tonight, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in to the stream. Man, this has been very entertaining as hell, for real. So we're gonna find out about that. We're gonna find out about the social. We're gonna find out about him not having medical insurance and stuff, because I'm pretty sure that's what she's going to talk about. All right. So everybody who hang with me this long, I appreciate it a whole lot. And I want to real quick give y'all some bonus content real quick. All right, this bonus content it don't have nothing to do with this current content, but it's something that people have been asking me about. All right, so I I actually had did a stream almost about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was talking about cyberbullying, right? And then on that stream, I was giving people pointers about how the way you could prevent yourself from being doxxed. Okay. So I was giving you some pointers about that. So what I'm going to do is that I actually have a file that I'm going to show y'all, and I'm also going to post this file on my community wall so you could help protect yourself from being doxxed. Okay. Give me one moment while I want to transfer this document. All right, here it is. So I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show this to y'all so it can help y'all out. All right, so you can help preventing you from getting doxxed. Okay, so here it is. Right. Um. Here, give me one moment. Matter of fact, I do it this way. I do it this way. I go and open it this way, then I show it to y'all on screen. Like I say, I'm gonna present this on my community wall so y'all could go through it, and this will help y'all out. One of the biggest takeaways that I want y'all to know is that you could get rid of your digital footprint or fingerprint, all right, on social media. All right, it's very possible because I did it. But let me present this to y'all. Is it this screen? No, wrong screen. I do it on my share screen. A matter of fact, I do it this way. So y'all can actually see this document. Do it. Here it is. All right, so this is the one document that I want to show y'all. Once again, I am going to post this on the community wall for your information, but this is how the way you could present yourself for being doxxed on the internet. Now, when I did that stream about being cyberbullied, right? One key takeaway that I was telling y'all was that we be way too loose on social media, meaning that um your Facebook accounts, your Instagrams, your TikToks, your Snapchats, right? Instead of y'all having it as public, y'all need to have that information as private. And you only allow people who you really trust the most to have access to that information. Okay. So on this document, it's showing everything. It's showing you what you could do, how the way people want to search for certain search engines and stuff, right? How they could pull up your information to try to search for, different things right here on this page. This page right here shows more information about that. But the most important takeaway that I want y'all to get is this part right here. Right here. This part right here. These are all the different average sites that people would go to try to get your information. Okay. So on here, on this sheet, it shows the website. Then right here, it says this. It says the opt-out link. The opt-out link is very important. When you want to go to these opt-out links, it's going to take you to or point where you can literally get your information deleted from these sites right here. You can literally get it deleted from everywhere. Okay. But you have to go in and opt it out. Okay. So all you have to do is follow these links, and it's going to want to show you how to want to get out of there, opt out. And here's another part where it's showing you how you can want to get your information, different things that shares your public information, and how the way you can want to get it opt out as well too. Okay. So that's how you can want to do that. And this last part here is still talking about social media, which I already talked to y'all about social media. And this is giving you a detailed instructions of how the way you could private your Facebook account. Okay. Give you a detailed instruction. Now, this detailed instruction goes not only for Facebook, but you could want to use it interchangeably with Instagram and all the other social media accounts that you have too. Okay. So just like I say, I'm going to immediately after the end of the stream, I'm going to post this on my community wall for your information, because I know we got people out there who literally like to do content on people. And the number one weapon that I learned that they use is that they want to dox you for content. Okay. So how the way you could stop that, how the way you could fight this is by learning the weapons of your enemy, learning what weapons that they try to use against you. You can learn the weapons that they use against you if you want to utilize that to empower yourself. So that's what I'm doing. I'm giving this information to y'all so y'all can see it, you can use it so it can empower yourself. Now, there are other information that I shared on the stream too, like getting your picture removed and all the stuff there. Go to that stream that I did about cyberbullying, and I give you detailed instructions how to get your picture removed and all kind of stuff. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to real quick share that with y'all, just to let y'all know I have that information for y'all. Those of y'all who been asking about it. Okay. So I'm going to post this on my community wall, so y'all can always have access to it. Y'all can go on my community wall. Y'all can screenshot it and utilize it to the best of your ability. All right. So yeah, yeah. Someone looked up my daughter and posted her information on social media along with tons of lies, but they didn't mention her by name. Yeah. And that same thing goes with family members and stuff as well too. A matter of fact, you can do your due diligence on this part, but when you go on here, right, when you go into opt out of this information, you could put in like say for example, you could put in your name. Like say for example, my name is Urban, right? You put in my name Urban, and it will go through and search every possible name Urban with the name, address, email, or whatever stuff, right? But you could do it with anybody. You could like with Gail, she could put in her daughter information and get her daughter information opt out. Put her daughter information in, put in the email address and get it opt out. You do it with any family member. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, when you opt out, right, it's gonna show the matches of your family members who's connected to that. You can get them opt out as well too. There's another one system that you can utilize too. Like say for example, you may not have time to do this, which this process do take a little bit of time, but I guarantee you it's worth it. But let's say that you don't have time to do this. There are websites out there that you could pay for, right? Pay like no more than like $10 a month, right? You could pay these websites and they'll literally get all that information removed from data brokers. Okay. They'll get that information removed from data broker, and they will always monitor if the data brokers end up pulling your information again. They'll monitor it and they'll send out notification to get it removed again. So there are websites, but I mentioned that on my other stream. So check that out. All right. But yeah, so I just want to quickly give y'all that bonus content because I know people been asking me about that. All right. So other than that, thank y'all so much for tuning into the stream. I'll see y'all later on tonight, and we'll continue with part 26 of this saga. All right, y'all have a good good noon or afternoon, and I'll see y'all soon.